I was having a good day. Ready?
Yeah. Good morning. It is 8:35 Wednesday morning. First things first, go download the KHEA radio app, now available in the App Store and
the Google Play Store as well. I was really disappointed because I was going to tease it up a little bit.
I'm not. I'm getting into it, dude.
You just want to jump right in and tell everybody, get the KHEA app.
I'm diving in. I'm going deep and over my head. That's like a Stephen Curtis Chapman song. But I'm ready for everybody to download the KHEA radio app. There's still some improvements. We really just wanted to get the app to the App Store. There's some extra features that are going to keep rolling out. But we are so excited to have this app available. Search KHEA radio. You'll see our logo pop up. And we actually had people download it before we even had the opportunity to announce who it was. So shout out to our friend, loyal listener, Kim. She actually put a message on her page. And so did Thomas from Oklahoma.
I saw Thomas send in and said the Android app, which we knew the Android app was ready to go last night, but we just didn't tell anybody.
We didn't announce it, but
we wanted to wait until the app was available for everybody to download. So it is easier to get the app into the app to the Google Play Store than it is the App Store. Thank you, Apple, for that awesomeness.
So yeah, go download the app.
A couple of things that if you go and download the KHEA radio app right now, there are a couple of things that are still coming soon. So we're going to be doing some things still in the next couple of weeks as we get the app ready for it to be fully functional, but we wanted to get it in your hand so that we can bless y'all with a wonderful app.
Yeah, we got about 15 seconds. We're going to go on the FM. I'm ready to do some giveaways on the app, and that may happen as soon as today. So we need at least like a million people to download the app right now. So here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:37 a.m. Wednesday morning, and we have some very, very exciting news for you.
Yeah.
Curt, let them know.
We have an app. It's in the App Store. It's in the Google Play Store. You can download it. You can add it to your phone. It looks slick. Just search for KHEA Radio.
I'm just staring at it now.
And you're going to be getting that app. You know, the one thing that I really like is compared to the other apps on the app screen there, it really pops out.
Man, the design, the sleekness, it's so smooth on the screen. And look at Ethan over there actually displaying and modeling this app for us. So go check it out. It looks like this. You can see it on my phone and Kurt's phone. I keep it on a page all to itself because that's how important this app is going to be to our future at KHEA. We're excited. So, yeah, thank you, Thomas. I saw you already got the KHEA radio app. I know Amy already got the KHEA radio app. I have it. Opened it right now. You can listen to our music. There's a ton of features we're going to be adding. Also, coming in the next week or so, hopefully, you'll be able to actually watch the video that you watch on Facebook from the app. So if Facebook is blocked at your work, at your school, or you just don't want to be on Facebook because you may get distracted, and you want that full attention on Kickstart, you'll be able to watch that video directly from the KHEA radio app.
I know you don't like the word coupon, but it does say coupon in the App Store right now. We are going to be giving coupons from local businesses. If you own a business and you want to have your business featured in the coupon section, you can reach out to us on Facebook. You can give us a call at 346-704-1806. We're super excited about all of the things that are going to be available. All of our partners are going to be featured in there. You can actually swipe through the slider there at the top, like in the middle of the page there, if you're using the app, and actually click on our partners and go to their information. So there's tons and tons of cool stuff featured inside of that app that we're super excited to have ready for you guys to utilize.
Yeah, so let us know when you download it. Let us know what features you want added and what you appreciate about it so far. Here's something else totally unrelated, but I just got this message, and I want to make sure I get this out. So this is today only. If you have any kids, if they're school age, from like preschool all the way up to seniors in high school, any elementary school, middle school, all that, right? So today only, Abundant Life Christian School is offering an enrollment special of 15% off tuition for the year for new students. If you come by to the school, you know, I believe they're located right behind Abundant Life and KHEA Radio, or you can give them a call, 409-935-8773. So that's 15% off of tuition if you enroll and you're a new student. If you're a parent, why not explore private education, Christian education right here in the community? It's been happening for over 20 years, that's where I went to high school. You know, Curt used to teach there. My son goes to Abundant Life Christian School, and I recommend it. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, we're also going to be featuring the Abundant Life Christian School inside of the app as well. So tie it together. Tie it together. Everything's going to be good.
It's going to be in there. You know, we should maybe put that in the coupon sale, like today only. If you go to Abundant Life Christian School, you can get 15% off your tuition. Enroll now. Enroll today. Enroll often and enroll early.
We'll put that as a coupon. The other cool thing is you can actually listen to KHEA radio inside of the KHEA radio app and go and do other things on your phone.
Ooh.
So if you just wanted to even turn your phone off and listen to KHEA radio, it can play in the background. It does play what goes on the FM, so you don't get behind the scenes yet. But that's soon to be coming.
That's coming soon. And I like this from Thomas. And Thomas, we're going to need you to leave this review on the Google Play Store. Thomas said, I played with it a bit, and it's really smooth. The audio stream is fantastic. I like that. We're going to need that in text form, on a review. Fantastic. Can you say that again?
Fantastic.
Woo, I like that.
Man, put it in parentheses, fan. Fan.
Speaking of fan, it is hot
in here.
Yeah, our AC is going through some maintenance right now, but hopefully we'll get that going. And y'all can't tell that if we're sweating, even though we got these cameras on us. But hey, keep us in prayer. We're keeping you in prayer too. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.
We got an app, but we don't have an AC unit anymore. So it's like one or the other. We can't have both. We can't have AC or an app.
Yeah, it's
sacrifices.
What was the cost? It cost us everything. As we're sweating, the app cost us everything. AC. It cost us comfort. It cost us being pushed outside of our comfort zone to be able to try and move forward. Sometimes growth isn't comfortable. Sometimes, expanding isn't comfortable whenever that comes to business, whenever that comes to education, whenever that comes to creating an app. Sometimes it's not comfortable.
I think I have the greatest idea for the app commercial.
Okay.
Me sitting in a corner here in the radio booth, lights out, super hot, sweating. So maybe we put water on me, so it looks like I'm fake sweating.
You're sweating right now. We don't have to get you, we just let you cook in this room for a little bit. We don't have to fake anything.
Right. But then I have the iPad with the app up, and it's all you say is, it cost us everything. Go download KHEA radio app.
But whenever you open the iPad, I feel like a cold, we have a sound effect come up and ice, and you're refreshing. Fantastic. It hits you like that.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a good idea.
Great idea. Best commercial ever. Let's do it. We're filming it this afternoon.
All right. I'm down. So today we're going to have our good friend Sergio in studio. He's in traffic. He's coming from Katy, Texas. He is a Grammy Award-winning musician. I'm honored to be able to call him friend and be able to play with him here at the church. I honestly don't know that many people in person, on a personal level, who have won a Grammy. So it's a huge deal. Curt, I feel like you're up next.
I just want an award. I don't care what it is. If it's a Rampy, not a Grammy, I'm totally down for it. But I want even the Dundee, I want that. That award would be better to have than the Grammy award. Come on.
You think so?
The Dundies? Oh, yeah.
Wait, which one is the Dundies again?
From The Office.
Oh,
because it was
Dunder Mifflin.
Dunder Mifflin. Right?
Yes.
Any of those would be great, but just one award. Just one. I don't have any. I haven't won an award since I was national runner-up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say since elementary school when I won that bowling tournament.
No, since I was national runner-up in college in speaking. I haven't won anything since.
But if you're not first, you're last, right?
I was the best. In my junior year, I was #1 sports reporter in the state of Nebraska.
Well, Ricky Bobby's father told me if you ain't first, you're last. And you know what? And I've grown to believe him. So national runner-up, I don't know. #2? Right?
Well, I was still out of national runner-up out of millions of people.
I like to hang out with people like Blaine. She's Miss Houston. She was not runner-up. She was #1 in Houston. And she's going to go and compete in Miss Texas.
I just told you I was the #1 sports reporter for college in the state of Nebraska.
What year was this? 1992?
2010. I did a story about a guy who played basketball for the Hastings College Broncos. His number was #3. So I was and #3. And it was basically called #3. And I just said the word #3 over and over and over. And they were like,
great. Clapping that was
job.
Amazing.
I try to, those ESPN stories that Tom Rinaldi used to do. He was all sad. And they're like, and Alabama wins again. Roll Tide. That's kind of what I did. I took that idea in 2010. Tom was doing some great stuff, and so I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I was like, and number 3 lived just down the road at Donovan High School. And they're like, we've never seen anything like this.
This guy can talk.
This is great.
Amazing.
We'll give him the Golden Leaf Award for the sports reporting.
Hey, can we talk about some upcoming events?
Yes.
So this Friday is the Firefighter Games in Texas City on 6th Street. We're going to be out there on Friday, which is going to be awesome. So excited. Some of the features are a 5K run on Saturday morning. There's a barbecue cook-off, which me and Curt are going to weasel our way into, again, to be some judges. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the opening ceremonies take place at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're going to be there for that event. They're actually going to be honoring, I believe, people from the Santa Fe community at the event. So if you want to come out at 6 o'clock, I hear that it's going to be a very powerful ceremony. Chris from the United Way is going to be there. We're going to be there. We're going to be actually doing our show live on location tomorrow from Cupcake Cache. And then again on Friday morning, we're going to be on location at the Firefighter Games as well.
And then on Saturday at the Booker T World Gym Arena, there is a trivia schmodown, which I'm really excited about. We learned about yesterday from our good friend Brad Gilmore.
Yeah, I think it's a movie trivia night. It's Saturday night. I think it starts at 7 o'clock. And you can actually go and be an audience member for this game show.
It's awesome. So watching the video, there's a high-quality trailer. This is something that they have sold out in Vegas, something that they have taken on the road, and now it's coming to Texas City at the World Gym Arena. There are elements of wrestling. There are elements of game shows. There's elements of, acting and characters and title belts, and it's just a lot of fun. So we're going to be interviewing, our hope is to be interviewing one of the founders and one of the gentlemen that is a part of that on Friday, and then if at all possible, we're going to try and sneak in there on Saturday to see if we can get tickets to witness it. It's 7 to 9 p.m., I believe.
Yes, 7 to 9 p.m., they said, and it's going to be a wonderful time. There's going to be movie trivia questions that the teams are going to be answering, so you have a chance to watch this major TV event live right here in Texas City at the World Gym Arena. That's crazy to think about.
And then speaking of wrestling, this is something else that I want to mention. I see Johnny Blade was mentioning it. So on July the 12th at 7 p.m., UPW, Undisputed Pro Wrestling, is coming back to Santa Fe. So they had that match, and we were helping getting the word out about that. We had Nate Laws, Mr. 409, representing Lamar, Texas, in the Bay Colony Nell studio as we were on the road that day. But they're going to be coming back. My cousin, JT Royce, is going to be going one-on-one with Estrella Galactica, who actually was a part of a tag team. I don't know if it was a tag team. I think it was like a one-on-one match. And my cousin was a part of that, JT Royce, so he's going to go one-on-one. I watched that footage, man, and I'm not concerned, but that's the champion. That's the current champion, so my cousin's going to have a shot at the champ. It's not a title match, but it's going to be a good match. I know my cousin's good. JT Royce is one of the up-and-coming Texas wrestlers, and I don't think I'm going to stop until he's like heavyweight champion of WWE. I will keep like singing his praises, and I'm like, yes!
And I sing praises too.
Wow. But anyways, yeah, go check out some local wrestling. That's going to be July 12th, 7 p.m. They're coming back to Santa Fe, Texas. Right now it's 8:49. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM.
Okay, so we have an open challenge.
Okay.
Somebody tagged both you and I in a post.
Yes.
And I'm a little concerned because the last time we did this, and I know you're going to say yes to this without even saying it. The open challenge for you guys at KHEA Radio, come to Fit Camp. Who wants to see the Sanctuary Gym Friendswood kick Curt Thomas Casper's and Gardy Garcia's
What?
behind in Fit Camp?
It's already hot in here, and it just got hotter.
I know. We'll do it as long as we don't go to Abuelo's beforehand.
Yeah, I'm down to work out as long as we don't have Mexican food before. And to be honest, I could use a good workout for like the next year, so I could get in shape. And not the round shape, Curt. I know what you're thinking. Round is a shape. We get it. Haha. Very funny. Very funny. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey, that's an open challenge.
Have a chance to say it.
There's an open challenge, and this is on the same level of working out, but Solian, who is watching, she has a comment, and she said, "Isn't Curt supposed to fight someone in June. You would put an open challenge out there. You put this into the air. You put it into the universe, and now it's time to pay the piper. You said in January, I will be making my amateur boxing debut this summer. For me,
I didn't set a date.
Summer starts in June. I mean, you could push it till the end of July, but I feel like
August is still summer.
Technically, yes.
Yes,
the
okay.
very beginning of August. But you said, hey,
September also counts.
I'm gonna have to go pull the video. I'm gonna sponsor that post with like all the money I have to my name, so that way everybody will see it. Actually, Ethan has a $15 credit on his account, and maybe that's the one we use. But we need to get the word out, because Curt, you need to be training, and if you're not training, that's fine too. You can still honor your word though. You're a man of your word though, right?
I am a man of my word, so yes, I will. Yeah.
It's like
maybe.
the Joker. I'm a man of my word. You know, that's what that reminds me
So,
of.
Nail, my girlfriend, she was like, you should probably just cancel your gym membership to World Gym. You never go. And I was just like, then they're fighting words.
I'm going to pay for it and not go anyways.
Right?
That's the better option.
Like fighting
I'm
words.
offended. I'm offended. But is it true?
Yes.
Or why don't you just go to Fit Camp over at the Sanctuary Gym, get your butt kicked?
So are we saying yes to that?
When is it though?
Okay, Fit Camp starting January 5th. I mean, if it's that late. Oh, man, there's a 5 a.m., a 9:30, a 12, a 5:30, and a 6.
So for us, we would have to do like the 5 a.m. or like the 5:30 or 6. What, is this every day?
Monday through Friday.
Okay. That 5 a.m. would definitely kick our butt, just for the fact that we had to be up at 5 a.m. And not actually, we'd have to be up at like 4:30 a.m.
Yeah,
like
I would
in the
have
car
to
driving.
leave my car at 4:30 a.m. to get there by 5.
I would tell you, hey, you could just stay the night at my house, but you'd be like, Gardy, I'm a grown man with a girlfriend. I can't spend the night at your house. What? This is ridiculous.
That's funny.
Right? Just stay at my house. It's closer.
Oh, awkward.
I have a girlfriend. I can't do that.
So do we have to wait to January 5th?
Slumber parties are over.
Jonathan, tune in to our show.
Was it a really old post? Like from January 5th that just got us tagged in it or something? That may be what the deal is. I don't know. It's 8:53 a.m. This is KHEA.radio.com. Vanessa has a good point. She said, I thought he's supposed to come and spar at Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts. I was at Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts yesterday. You know who was on the mat?
Who?
My son, Kellen,
Okay.
and my wife, Jennifer. You know why?
Why?
Because she wanted to go let out on the bags. I mean, I know for a fact she could take you.
Jennifer? Oh, I'm not touching. Yeah, I'm not. No way.
And if not, Kellen would be back behind there, be like, yeah, and then just like boom, 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 put out a little combo and flip you over the mat, and he's like, don't mess with her, you know, like a type of thing like that. But no, they had a thing for Mother's Day, so they had mothers getting on the mat, you know, that were there.
Ah, okay. Did he win? Are we still
They
friends?
weren't battling each other. They were just training together. Like, okay, this is the combo. You know, left, right. Okay, let's do hammer fist. Okay, kick this way. Just, it was a fun way to get them involved together.
I meant, did he win the award, like best karateer of the night or whatever it is?
They didn't give out a star. They usually give out like the ninja star. And we're about 7 months deep. And Kellen, I'm like, Kellen, you need to sit up straighter. Kellen, you got to like put your hands on your knees. I'm talking, you have to have this black belt focus, a little bit more focused than you are right now, because you're going this is a 7-month streak of not getting that ninja star, and I'm starting to get concerned.
Can we play some breaking news and like palette really fast before I drop this knowledge bomb that's about ready to happen?
Okay, I may give you like, okay, here we go. This is some breaking news here on KHEA Radio.
So I have sources that say that somebody is trying to buy Kellen a Top Ninja award at Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts. That makes it almost like it's not truly a Top Ninja award anymore. I have sources.
Wow.
Sources!
First of all, the breaking news is coming down. There has been no currency exchange. I'm just saying it, like trying to put it in the air. I'm like as we're at Premier Martial Arts, I'm like, it sure would be nice if Kellen won that Top Ninja star. You know, just saying it out there. Like, hey,
there were threats apparently last night of like friendships being broken.
Master Cody. Oh man,
like I refuse to bring my kid back to the Al Garza's Premier Martial Arts.
Whatever. No, I'm like, look how black belt focused Kellen is. Oh my goodness. And I was telling my wife, I was like, sit up straight on the mat, because she was sitting by him. I was like, this may be our best chance to have Kellen win. I was like, shoulders back, like. Seriously, be focused, because they're going to see y'all as a pair. So this may be the opportunity for Kellen to get that ninja star. But then they didn't give one out, which is fine, because he goes.
I was sweating all
week.
night after I saw the sources that were saying like, "Hey, like we're no longer going to be friends with Chef Table's charities if this doesn't happen." And I was like,
so Natasha's daughter.
I was like sweating. I was like, please.
Yeah.
Please just give him the award. I don't want to lose his friendship.
So yeah, Chef Mary Bass with Chef's Table Charities. We have a group text, and Natasha, sometimes we call her Chef Natasha Davis.
Right.
She's in there, but her daughter has trained at Premier Martial Arts for a while, and so she's on that black belt track. I believe she has within this year, hopefully she'll achieve that black belt status. Staying on the track that she's on right now. So they have them helping the class, and so I'm always like, Natasha, can you just tell your daughter to just maybe consider Kellen. She's like, I've talked to her about it, and she said this is what he needs to work on to do this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm telling him. But, there's no currency exchange. I'm just trying to give those tips and pointers to my son so he'll get that top ninja star one day.
7 months, though. I mean, there's 8 kids in the class. No, there's
a
30.
ton.
There's 30 kids. But how many? There's 52 weeks in a year. It's been how many weeks?
I don't know.
Still?
A lot of the time, it's the same kids. I noticed I'm fake sneezing, she just got it last week. Oh, come on, her again? Really? But no, these kids,
wow.
They're good. They're good. And I understand it's probably a tough decision to make, but all I can do is encourage my son, keep doing what you're doing, stay on the same track. And then hopefully you'll be noticed, and one day you'll get that sticker. I can just imagine the tears rolling down my face, thank God. Finally, I'm going to be filming. I have been guilty of whenever he does really well, I'm like, oh, I know for a fact this is the week, so I'll have my phone out and I'm trying to get the footage of it so I can capture it, because I know it would mean so much to him. He would probably start crying, tears of joy, being oh, so happy, because it's been a long time. And I'm me too, on the sidelines, it's oh, come on. But I want to get it on film. So one day, but I just keep having to delete the video after every week. So
the notification from the app, breaking news. Kellen Garcia has finally won the Ninja Star from Al Garza's premiere.
Yeah!
And everyone's like, yeah! Phones blow up all across the area, and they're like, slow clap. Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Finally.
So my wife said he still hasn't developed that killer instinct, which is something he's trying, I guess, to get. As a 6-year-old, sometimes you're not born with it, but you can develop it. And my wife also said some of the moms yesterday, though, she's like, man, they were really hitting those bags. They had some either frustration to get out, or they were trying to kill it.
The moms?
Yes.
Oh, you don't mess with mothers.
Because some of the moms are like, bah, 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 and
they've been sitting on the sideline waiting for their chance.
I guess.
Every year they're like, is it Mother's Day yet? Is it Mother's Day yet? I got to get out there, just itching.
Yeah. I told my wife, I was like, hit the bag harder. What are you doing? She was like, I'm trying. I'm trying. But, man, no, some of them were trying to kill that bag. But the instructors were just boom, 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 going back. But anyways, shout out to Premier Martial Arts, a great source in the community. Been doing it for a long time. And Grandmaster Al Garza is a great person, and we vouch for everything that he has done.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, going back to our earlier conversation, I know we've been on the air for a little bit here. If you have not heard, the KHEA radio app is now available in the App Store.
It's hot.
You can go and download it. Just search for KHEA Radio. Apple, Android, both devices. You can get that app. Check it out. It's still in process of getting all the features ready to go. There's some coming soon items. We're going to be rolling those out, and we'll send out push notifications when those items are ready to go. You'll be able to have a community calendar. You'll be able to have some coupons. You'll be able to click and find out who our partners are. You'll be able to actually listen and watch KHEA Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll be able to do that inside of the app. You'll be able to jump to other apps. You'll be able to do stuff on your phone where you don't have to have Facebook up. You won't be able to have KHEAradio.com. You know, it's just a clean, smooth app, and we're super excited about it. If you haven't downloaded the KHEA Radio app, go and do so. Search for it on the App Store.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and I was showing you guys a little bit of the features. You can download it for yourself, but you open it up, you'll see some of our partners. Shout out to Cupcake Cache, Furniture Zone, Texas Pit Stop Barbecue. Shout out to the city of Lamarck, and you know, all of our other partners. Those banners are going to keep getting updated, and we're going to have a whole section dedicated to everybody that helps make KHEA Radio possible. You can also choose to donate if you want to help KHEA Radio out. Hey, holler, hit that text to give button, or you can actually just PayPal us. If not, that's cool too. We appreciate you sharing our content. We appreciate you just taking the time to comment. Even if you share out like, hey, KHEA Radio has an app now, go download it. That is enough for me to consider you a partner because you're helping us get the word out.
Yeah, I'm super excited because one of the things we're working on is being able to order tacos right from the app.
I want that.
That would be awesome. And I think, you know, we're just waiting for the right partner to partner up with us where that's a possibility to do, where you'd be able to log in to our app and just order a taco, which is possible. We can do all things.
Through Christ?
Through Christ or the KHEA Radio app.
In unison. It's 9:01. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. Maybe you're listening from the KHEA Radio app. Maybe you're listening from Facebook. Either way, hey, we appreciate you taking the time to tune in. We're talking a little bit about things going on in the community. So we mentioned earlier, firefighter games are coming up. Then there is the Schmodown at the Booker T World Gym Arena on Saturday, and then the UPW wrestling event taking place in July, I believe on the 12th. You know, my cousin JT Royce is going to be facing the champion of UPW, which is a big deal. So I'm hoping that my cousin wins and he just takes the belt from the guy anyways, even though it's not a title match, and just like walks out. Like, what are you going to do? I just beat you. You can't stop me. I'm taking your belt. You're a punk.
Hey, also, we have on Saturday the College of the Mainland graduation that's taking place.
Are you going to walk? You're
I
not
might.
You're not graduating
No,
with
I'm
anything?
not graduating yet.
But I could see you just like sneaking in and just being like, dun, 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 and just like going up on the stage just because.
No, I'm actually upstairs directing, so I won't be able to bamboozle my way across the stage this time. But I'm super excited about the College of the Mainland coming onto our campus. It's always a big event, and I'm super excited to showcase KHEA Radio because of that event. I'm going to be standing right there trying to sign up everybody for that cruise giveaway, standing by the table. Ethan, you're going to be there Saturday, right?
So there'll probably be about 4,000 people here. You know, there's a lot of people that graduate. I think is there multiple ceremonies, huh?
Yes, multiple ceremonies. I'm going to have a big old banner that says, ask us about the cruise giveaway.
There you go.
It is our featured video on our page. You can still have a chance to enter to win that cruise. We're going to be giving it away on May 31st, so still plenty of time if you're just tuning in or if you're listening for the very first time. Go like KHEA Radio on Facebook. You'll have a chance to download the app. You'll be able to win that free cruise. Plenty of stuff can happen because you like KHEA Radio on Facebook.
Hey, good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Jonathan, as well. He said, what's up, guys? So we were tagged in something, and I think there was an open invite, an open call, a challenge, if you will, for the fit camps that are happening at the Sanctuary Gym in Friendswood. And we just need some clarification, I suppose, because we're not fit. And Curt claims that he likes to camp, but I don't know. Like fit camp, Curt, whenever you think of fit camp, is this for you? Yes, no.
I'm concerned.
Okay.
I'm really concerned about doing fit camp, only because the last time we went to the Sanctuary Gym, we got destroyed.
Which, yes, that's true. But we didn't know what to expect, and I feel like this time going in, we'll probably get destroyed again, but at least we won't eat Mexican food before. Because I feel like Jonathan was trying to make us throw up just a little bit.
He ruined working out for me. He
Was that the
ruined
last
it.
time?
It was the last time I've ever worked out was when Jonathan almost made me throw up, and that was last summer, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was last year, but not like a whole year ago. I want my arms to be as big as Jonathan's. It would look really funny on my body, but dude is massive. He looks like the Hulk or something.
You're just sitting there. The whole camera is your bicep, and you're like, "Hey, we got to scoot back."
cam. I need a
Bicep cam.
Yeah.
It zooms in slowly.
What was that, Ethan, in the lap over there?
I heard it through my ears.
Well, it's
funny.
9:05. We're going to take a quick break on the FM. This is KHEAradio.com. It's Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 o'clock. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Casting Crowns. with nobody on KHEAradio.com. Anyways, the people that are on the app are now listening to Casting Crowns. You guys are getting more behind-the-scenes stuff.
So all the people who are listening on the app are now tuning back into the Facebook page.
Our numbers are going. I don't know what this is going to do, but we're going to make it to where you can actually watch this video on the app too. But we have to route some cabling down from upstairs, so that way we can access a live stream account and push that to the app. So there's some other little things that need to be worked out. Oh, that's Ethan listening to Casting Crowns?
I'm really concerned.
Is Ethan listening to Casting Crowns on the KHEA radio app?
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Hey, Jonathan said, you guys are wild. But I feel like the wild person is the one that's up every day, 5 a.m., killing it at the gym, fit camp. That's the real wild.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm looking at people sending us messages and comments about just different stuff.
Just different stuff.
Well,
yeah.
Bronco Burrito is doing
They have that food truck.
They have win a special gift if you're chosen. So you can go and pick up Bronco Burrito.
Okay.
At 4917 Broadway today. And it's called Join Bronco Burritos and Sunshine Center for a profit-sharing event. On May 15th from 5 a.m. to 12 p.m., the Sunshine Center will receive a percentage of the profits made that day. The money will be used for the purchase of Moody Garden passes for the clients. Your purchase will satisfy your breakfast cravings and help the Sunshine Center. Please join us and invite your friends. And so we got tagged in that yesterday, right?
Okay.
And I said, bring them to us at KHEA Radio. And someone 9 minutes said, wish I would have seen this sooner. I sure would have done what I could. So we could have had breakfast burritos from Bronco Burrito, and now we don't.
Someone tag Alan. Someone tag Alan on to A&A. So he just makes things happen. On Monday, shout out to A&A Machine and Fabrication right here in Lamarck. We saw a DoorDash delivery just walk up like manna from heaven. It I'm not sure if I'm remembering or recalling this correctly, but I think he almost floated in from the ceiling. It was actually really amazing, and it was like a glow of light.
And he was like, is Alan there? Alan or Helen? Ethan's like trying to talk to me. I'm like trying to talk on the radio and do my show. And Ethan's like, Helen? And I'm like, he's yelling like, we don't have a Helen.
You're so loud.
I know. That's what it was in my ear. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was like, fine, I'll go deal with this. And I got up and I was going to be so mad. I'm like, someone pranking us right now, like this is ridiculous. Like I could see somebody from like a competing radio station or something be like, let's send them burritos and make them mess up and think that they got burritos, right?
But what would be in the bag? Like emptiness? Like there's nothing. It's an empty bag. It's like
not for us. It's for like Helen, right? Like whoever Helen was, and it's like you're gonna really show up here with tacos and not give them to KHEA Radio and give them to Helen instead.
There is no Helen here.
I know. That's what the joke would be like. They're like,
it's the worst joke ever.
Helen.
This is how you work. This is how your brain works. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the house hunting that we did yesterday. So we were in League City.
Yes.
With Brittany Burns at EXP Realty on the Monica Foster team, right?
Yes.
And it's a house that is awesome. It's a great house, built in 2007, has more than enough room. I believe that it can even have like 5 bedrooms, right?
Right.
We went and checked it out. The only concern, I feel like it's perfect for you. My only concern, which I know is important whenever it comes to you buying a house, is that it's too close to my house because I see you a lot already. I don't want to run into you at the grocery store. Is that bad? Like I'm like running and I'm like,
but see, I'm going to Kroger. I'm not going to HEB. You know why? Because at Kroger, I get a 10% thing from my Cash App card.
Okay, you know what?
See?
It may actually work because I don't go to Kroger.
Okay.
I go to HEB.
But I'm probably going to go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, no. See, Travis and Jamie Powell, they're like my best friends. They own that Chick-fil-A. And no, you can't. Maybe if they build a Chick-fil-A on the other side of 96, like on the north side, or you can go to Taco Bell. I'll let you have Taco Bell. I'll let you have Taco Bell.
Your wife
I'll
would
take
be
Chick-fil-A.
really upset if you gave away Taco Bell.
But you know what? I feel like
I'm like
she would understand.
She's like, I can't go to Taco Bell anymore, and she'd be like, she's like sneaking it behind your back. She's like, and you're like, honey, I saw a Taco Bell wrapper, and you're like, I told you.
Yeah.
How dare you?
So okay, is that fair? I'll take Chick-fil-A. You take Taco Bell. I'll take HEB.
No, I don't want Taco Bell.
You take Kroger.
I'm getting the worst end of this.
No.
Chick-fil-A versus...
You already get Kroger.
I don't even want Taco Bell. I hate, dislike.
Hate Kurt Casper.
I don't hate. I dislike Taco Bell.
Okay, I'll take Mod Pizza.
Okay.
And you can have the workout facility, Pure Bar, where you can remember we went into Pure Bar with all the mayors. I'll take Mod Pizza. You can have Pure Bar.
This is the worst.
No, Pure Bar's awesome.
It is great, but that's not. I can't eat there.
I work out there. You can bring in food. Okay. All right. So I have Mod. You have Pure Bar. I'll take.
But I feel like if I bought a big house like that, $439,000,
but it's $10,000 off, and anything's negotiable.
Okay.
That whenever it comes to real estate, apparently anything is negotiable. That's probably the big takeaway that I learned from our experience yesterday. Anything is negotiable in real estate, apparently.
Okay.
I feel like lowballing's not a good idea, but if you just try and get stuff thrown in, that's where you can okay, well, all right, we'll do $10,000 under the asking price, but I want you to leave the grill, in the back, and there's a pool table upstairs. Can you leave the treadmill? Is that possible? And then see what they say.
People do that? That's mind blowing to me.
I don't know. I don't because I didn't know. I just learned it yesterday. Apparently, anything is negotiable.
You said yesterday, Pastor Josh and
Catherine,
Catherine actually said, "Hey, we'll keep all the furniture too."
Well, their first house that they had, it was fully furnished. Obviously, they lived in it, but they were looking to move somewhere else. They put it on the market, didn't think it would sell as fast as it would. They got an offer on it, and the people said, "Hey, all right, will you leave all the furniture?" And they're like, we didn't think about it. Well, there's certain things we want to take, but okay. And they worked it out, so they left most of their furniture and sold the house like that.
I couldn't leave furniture.
You do already.
Well, I could leave furniture, but I couldn't take somebody else's furniture.
Why?
Because
you've had a couch that was given to you.
It's almost like the same.
That's the same thing.
It's almost like the same thing of not like the whole house. You know what I mean? Like it's the whole house. It's like, well, yeah, I want all of your furniture.
Have you ever been to a model home?
No.
You've never been into a model home before?
I don't think so.
Sure you have. We've went to some of the builders around here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you've been into a model home, and they're fully furnished. So if you bought a house and be like, man, this looks awesome. I can never decorate it this good. I'm going to buy this house with all the furniture in it. Is that possible? Yes, apparently anything is negotiable. So if you see a house and it's like, wow, this looks great. This looks better than I could ever do, then yeah, you'd buy the house with the furniture in it. I mean, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of. But it's almost like wearing somebody else's shoes. Like the other day I went into Goodwill.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make a costume.
I love Goodwill.
I love Goodwill. Trying to make a costume. And the hard part was I need riding shoes for this costume, like horse riding shoes. And so we're looking at boots and stuff at Goodwill. And I was like, I can't wear somebody else's shoes. It's gross to me.
Yeah.
If
I've bought shoes before that were somebody else's, and I've had shoes that were given to me by my friend or something, or I've given shoes away. I guess it depends. You're probably thinking, and we were talking about this yesterday with Dr. Chapa, and you were like, is there a way to fix my stinky feet? So you're thinking hey, my feet, this can get gross. And then other people can have gross feet too, but not everybody's feet are created equally, I guess.
Yeah, but I also look at my shoes maybe because I wear my shoes until they're destroyed.
You are very hard on your shoes.
I know.
Very hard.
Very hard. But I've also had I usually don't go and buy I haven't bought a pair of shoes in over a year,
Yeah.
I don't go out and buy shoes. I wear the same shoes until they're destroyed,
Yeah. And it breaks my heart. Not that that's the case, but you'll take your shoes and just throw them in the car, in the trunk, or everywhere else, and it's just it stabs me there. I try and take good care of my shoes, but I actually have a lot of shoes. I know Ethan does too. Ethan has a lot of shoes, but right now it's 9:14. Have you downloaded the KHEA radio app? Maybe you'll learn about Kurt's shoe edition or whatever we're talking about right now. There is a blog that is going to be rolling out that we have talked about, and we haven't had that feature yet added, but we're going to be adding a blog where you'll be able to find out Curt's boot ventures, where he's trying to find a pair of riding boots.
I cannot wait.
From the Goodwill.
You know how long I've wanted to have a soapbox? That's what I'm so going to use my blog for. Because yesterday we talked about this, about the donuts, right?
Yes.
And the $5 like limit that I had to buy, like had to get my credit cards. You know, to use a credit card, you have to spend $5.
Yeah.
Then I'm forced as a consumer to have to buy something that I don't want or pay extra for items that shouldn't cost that much. I dislike that. And I'm going to go on a soapbox during that blog.
Uh-oh.
Like, it's going to be awesome. Like, I'm going to be like,
where does that come from?
it's going to be illegal. I'll make it illegal for people to charge $5 minimum.
Every time I've ever seen like a box that a bar of soap came in, it's like this. Is that what it is? It's like this big and it's like paper. So that means it's just like, oh, I'm going to stand on my soapbox. I don't really have much to stand on and I'm going to complain. But is that something like historically?
I think it's from the 1900s, like early 1900s. You would stand on a box to like shout your news. You know, like
the paper boy is what I mean.
But you would do that.
I could see Ethan in like a little newsy hat, like, come and read all about it. Extra, extra. Curt is complaining about a $5 minimum charge at the gas station. Extra.
Oh my! You know what we need? That's what we need again in society.
Ethan as a newsie.
We'll send intern Ethan down to like Baybrook Mall, and he'll stand on a box and say, "Download the KHEA radio app." They're like, "Get it now!" And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest app ever created."
Yeah.
You think they'd kick us out of Baybrook Mall if Ethan did that?
They'd be like, "Sir, this is a Wendy's. Can you please leave?"
I love it.
Yeah.
Ethan, will you please go stand at Baybrook Mall today, this afternoon? You don't have to do your ramps today. If you go and stand at Baybrook Mall and just get kicked out, basically.
Do you have a newsy hat? Okay, I have one you can wear.
Ethan's so quiet today.
He's
I've
like,
never seen
his
Ethan,
mouth's like this. He's like,
I'm not talking.
icky. Words are gross.
Thanks, Ethan.
I don't want to say it.
We appreciate your contribution to KHEA Radio.
I have thoughts, but I can't say it. You may get mad.
So coming up, we have Sergio Garcia, who is...
It's not his name.
Wow. I was thinking Gardy Garcia.
Yeah, that is my name.
I don't know why I jumped to you guys being brothers or something.
Well, I have a lot of comments, but I'll save them for after the show.
Dang. Wow. Sergio is coming in. He is...
do you even know his last name?
As I'm thinking about it, I don't think I do know. I've maybe already... Gonzalez.
Yeah, you
Sergio Gonzalez.
Took you a bit. Oh, my gosh. Because he's calling. That's the only way you know. So it's 9:18. If you haven't downloaded the KHEA radio app, you need to go do it. We've been getting some feedback. Also, if you have downloaded it, please, 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 can you rate our app for us? Give us some feedback. Only positive. I guess we'll start to cry.
They'll be like, well, it's not designed for the iPhone 10. We know. We're working on it.
How do you change that?
I'm just going to have to like
call
maybe
them and
move it down a little bit or see what they can do. And then there's some features that need to be like rolled out shortly. So like there's a coupon section that needs to be rolled out, and there's a community calendar that needs to be rolled out as well.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I wonder how close he is, because we got 30 seconds, and I'd be down to go on the FM now and then maybe bring him back in. What do you think?
We can go on the FM and bring him in while we're on the FM.
I love it. Ooh.
All right. We've never done that.
So here's some Todd Smith. We've been playing a lot of Todd Smith. Oh, here he is right now.
Awesome. 17 seconds.
You got 16 seconds. We're about to do this. You can sit in this one. Oh, Topo Chico? Yeah. Where's the lime?
Where's the song?
All right, 5 seconds, and we're going to be in it. Here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
Right now, it is 9/19 Wednesday. We're excited that you have taken this opportunity to hang out with us, to join us. We were talking earlier about a brand new app that everybody must get. Curt, let everybody know what app they need to download right now.
Yeah, it's the KHEA Radio app. You can actually go to your app store. You can go to Google Play. It's fresh. It just got launched this morning. You'll be able to download it. You'll be able to see all of the cool features. You'll be able to listen to KHEA Radio anywhere in the world. Again, it just launched today. You can go search KHEA Radio, download the app, get it in your store. And you know the best part, Gardy?
Yes.
I'm so glad we did this. I know you were a little concerned, but I think that the white line really makes it stand
The
out.
white line. That's the best part of the app. The white line.
The white line, it makes it stand out as an app.
Are you talking about the bottom?
Yeah, the bottom where it says KHEA. Like, I feel like the KHEA radio app stands out from all of the others. So go check it out, KHEA Radio.
So we have an expert whenever it comes to life. I have my life coach in the studio. We got Sergio Gonzalez. Sergio, what's up, man?
What's up?
So this is my life coach, Sergio, and are you downloading the KHEA radio app right now?
I'm trying to find it, but
Just search KHEA.
I like the white line too, man.
Well,
On the
it's
bottom?
great,
Yeah, it's
right?
pretty good.
It is nice.
Gardy, I need that camera switched. So we're streaming live right now on KHEA Radio. We're also broadcasting over 99.5 FM, and we have our Facebook Live. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, go ahead and share this video out. Let your friends know. We have a guy who has worked with some of the best in the industry, music-wise.
Including me.
Marcos Witt,
Including Gardy.
Gardy Garcia, all of the guys.
Because those are equal.
Sergio Gonzalez. By the way, I didn't
Nowhere.
I didn't say Sergio Garcia earlier in the show. I did not. So if Gardy ever says that, I didn't say
That's
that.
all right. Garcia Gonzalez.
And then he's like, do you
Close
even know,
enough.
do you even know Sergio's last name? I'm like, actually, I don't. And then you called, and it's in my phone contact. And he didn't know. I was like, oh, yeah, it's Sergio Gonzalez. And Gardy's like, how did you pull that out? And I'm like, he's calling right now. Ethan, go answer the phone.
Well, Gonzalez is here.
Gonzalez is
That's
here.
right, man. I don't know where you got the whole life coach thing.
I was just messing. You give good advice. You're easy to talk to.
I'm old.
You're not old.
Well,
You're in
you
your
know,
30s.
Yeah, but
I'm in my 30s. If you're old, that means I'm old. And I'm not old. Yet.
Well, some of us started a lot earlier than others, so you learn a lot. You know, you take a few beatings here and there, but you know.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how you guys are so awake at this hour.
Well, let me help you out here. See, as you drink your Topo Chico,
We're drinking Bang and coffee.
There you
we're
go.
double fisting.
Double fisting.
I knew there was a trick to it. I knew there was a trick to it.
Yeah. So if somebody is not familiar or they haven't had the opportunity to be introduced to you yet, can you share a little bit about what you do and maybe some of your history whenever it comes to music?
Well, I've been a musician since I can remember, about 4 or 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up a couple of instruments and I played. And by the time I was 9, I was in a band with my brother, my older brother, and we started a little band. And I was able to get in the studio early on, 9, 10 years old. I was already recording. And you know, technology comes out, and you learn how to program, and you learn how to arrange, and you learn how to do a lot of things. You know, I never took any formal music classes or anything like that. But eventually, I started arranging for local artists, and after a while, I just became a producer and a gigging musician, and
Yeah.
I ended up doing a lot of cool stuff that has me here today.
So what age did you start arranging? Like people came up to you and were like, "Hey, help me out here."
I must have been like 14 or 15. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
And was it other kids? You know, teenagers or adults as well?
No, it was adults who were already like traveling. They had traveling ministries and so forth. And,
Yeah.
They had, you know, songs that they'd written and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. And we had a thing called sequencers back then. So you would sequence things, you know, drums, bass on the keyboard. It was all done on the keyboard, and I would do it. And then I did it. I remember doing it the first time, and one of the artists says, "Okay, here you go." Gave me some money. And I'm
Oh,
like,
really? You're like,
you mean I could do this?
wow. Was that like an eye opener?
Yeah, a little bit, because, you know, I was doing it, you know, I still do it out of love and passion. You know, I just didn't know that there was, I didn't know that existed. You know, I come from the Rio Grande Valley, man. There's nothing to do over there. I mean, there's, you know, it's just, everybody just there was no YouTube when I was growing up and stuff like that. So everybody kind of just got into what you got into, and it was pretty surprising to me. So I took off from there, word got out, and I just started arranging and producing.
Yeah, as you were getting into music, you say there's not really much to get into. You know, I guess there's only certain things, like if people weren't getting into music or, you know, good at sports, like what were they doing? Getting in trouble?
Oh, man, plowing the field.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, well, my dad had a mechanic shop, so I spent a lot of time working with my dad. But, you know, most boys, you know, their dads, they either had a business or worked somewhere, and then they were just following that line, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a church, so you know, I had I don't know, I think I was very fortunate. I was very blessed to be at a church, because my dad understood, hey, you know, I want you to work here, but I also know that you have something in the music thing and in ministry and stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And whenever your brother and you started that band, what did he play and what kind of music was it?
He plays guitar to this day. He's very, very good, talented guitar player. And we played Tejano music, bro.
That's what's up.
I played accordion. I played keyboards. Not keyboard, not the keyboard. Because when you're talking about Tejano, you say the keyboards. Because it's almost important to say that there was a bunch of them for some reason.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I play the keyboards.
I play the keyboards.
There's a difference.
Right, there's a big difference. Yeah, you know. And I could only have two because I'm not very tall. So, but yeah, we did Tejano music. You know, a little bit of country, a little bit of, you know. But that was with that band. But at church, you know, we were starting to listen to this guy named Marcus Witt, and he was coming out with, like, at that time, you know, it was Spanish. We had Spanish speaking church, so all our songs were in Spanish, and this guy was coming out with, like, innovative new pop music, unheard of, you know, and in that realm, you know, and so that's where I started playing that type of style and genre at the church. Little did I know that, you know, what was it? I don't know, 15, 20 years later, I'd be his musical director. I didn't even, you know, but that was cool.
Yeah.
I remember my sister playing his record back in 89. I was 10 years old there. I just gave my age away. Back in 89, she played a record of him. I was like 10 years old, yeah. And I had no idea. I knew I liked it, but I had no idea who he was.
So was his sound different?
It was because during that era in the, you know, Mexico, Central South America, in the Latin world, church, it was very hymn based.
Right.
So we sang a lot of hymns, you know, and anything out of that was like out of order. It was oh, that's not music because you're using, you know, electronic stuff and you're using a keyboard and why are you singing straight to God? You're supposed to be singing about God. And that's kind of what Marcos did. You know, we were already doing it here in the U.S., you know, the American church was already doing it. But what he did was he took the Latin church from singing about God to a place where they were singing directly to God.
Like that relationship, the one-on-one.
The vertical, right.
That's cool.
Right. And, you know, people were already doing it over here, you know, in the English side, you know, but not in the Latin side. So it was literally a revolution, man.
Yeah.
Literally a revolution.
Speaking of music and, you know, American music, I was talking to Ethan the other day, and so we had some Toby Mac coming on, and for whatever reason, I mentioned DC Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Ethan, you like DC Talk? Because I know he likes Toby Mac. And so he was like, oh, I've heard of it, but I never heard him. I was like, well, you know, Toby Mac was in the singer of the Newsboys, Michael Tate, he was in DC Talk.
Boy, you
in
just
his
made
mind,
me feel old again.
Well, his mind was like, he was like, are you serious? And so he's been listening to like Jesus Freak and New Thing,
yeah.
right?
You know, he's doing it.
Yeah,
God is doing a new thing. And Kurt's looking at me like, how do you know that? Yeah, it's because I'm old, buddy.
Well, we were talking about, we wanted to do the possibility of doing like a throwback concert. How cool would it be to be like, have like Casting Crowns and Michael W. Smith, you know, all together, like do like a, hey, if you were alive in the 90s, these people, man. You know?
Yeah, for sure, DC Talk, man, for sure. I mean, I remember when they came out with the Jesus Freak out. I had followed them before, you know, with the New Thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I remember when they came out with
they changed the sound
to Jesus Freak, and it was this whole rock thing.
Yeah. You
know, and I remember they did that Doobie Brothers cover. Jesus is still all right with me. Yeah, I'll just go do. I don't want to get charged for royalties over here. But yeah, and I remember they did that. I remember they did you know, what will people, you know. Yeah. I always remember the intro. Do you guys remember the intro of the song? What will people do?
Yeah, the intro, and then it goes, yeah.
They say that I'm a Jesus freak. I thought it was the most hilarious thing when I was a kid. But then that rock guitar came in, man, and you were like, wow. Yeah, man.
Dude, I was listening yesterday because I'm looking for a new opener for the church services.
Please use Jesus Freak.
Yeah, man.
I was actually looking, and like I was thinking like Skillet's Hero. And like, so I found this like worship, like Bleacher Report did like the 30 top like pregame workouts, you know, like music that are Christian based.
Yeah.
And so it was like going down the list. And
Skillet.
Project 86 was in there. And I was like,
wow.
Like, was it called Spy Hunter was the name of that song?
I used to jam some Project 86.
Project 86. So I'm like,
that was like
it was hard
Christian
rock.
hardcore, like one of the straight up first Christian hardcore.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, no, Abundant Life Christian Center is not ready for this.
Oh man,
they're not ready. They're not ready for this kind of stuff. These guys were doing it in the 90s,
man. You know, bands like Skillet and
Project 86,
DC Talk. Yeah, all these bands. I remember I was into a band called the Orange County Supertones.
OC Supertones. Oh yeah, jammed them.
Great ska stuff, man. I mean, there was a a whole alternative movement back in that.
Yeah, Five Iron Frenzy.
I think POD came out during that whole time too.
Oh yeah, Puddle of Mud was on that list. I was like, POD was Christian?
No, yeah. Puddle of Mud is like a band, and then POD is another band.
Band.
But they like intertwine.
They intertwine. Yeah. Some of those intertwine. But there was a lot of alternative Christian music and a lot of rock music going on in the mid to late 90s. I remember, man, it was a whole thing.
Yeah,
a whole thing. But I really do think that the ones that broke through the most were obviously DC Talk. They had the rocker, they had the singer, and they had the rapper.
Yeah,
all in one.
Yes, I said Kevin Max arguably has the most unique voice in the whole group, and the other guys
the most unique pen. He writes really, really different.
I love his voice is great, and he did some stuff with Audio Adrenaline. He fronted them for a bit.
Yeah, that's another band right there. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, they were amazing.
Yeah, Underdog, which was one of my favorite albums because they came and played here. Like we did a youth conference here, and then we had brought him in, and I was in 7th grade, and so I remember I was already playing guitar.
Wow.
At that time, and for me it was just like being on the stage up front. And just, seeing a band that I looked up and listened to, like Zombie and,
Crazy names, man.
Yeah. And I understand why parents at that time may have been like, Jesus freak, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, Zombie, Audio Adrenaline's track list.
Yeah.
But it was different, and it gave me as a kid something to relate to that wasn't my parents, like CCM or like Darlene Check, which is awesome, but it was different.
Well, you got to understand, you had alternative bands that in the secular world, like Nirvana, and bands like what's that, the punk band, real famous punk band,
Green Day.
Yeah. You had bands of those likes during that time, and there was no other alternative for us.
Yeah, I feel like music today is kind of missing some of that because it's either the pop or the worship.
Yeah.
Another band I want to give a shout out to is Jars of Clay.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, I can still listen to their music, but they had that alternative sound because if you're listening to like Goo Goo Dolls, which Curt talks about a lot.
Goo Goo Dolls is hands down my favorite band of all time.
Did you ever listen to Jars of Clay?
Okay, and the show is over now. And
Black Balloon was my number one. It's still my number one favorite song.
Wow.
Hands down, because I had an interesting story behind it. I'll explain it really super fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's why. Because back in 1997, you couldn't Shazam music, right? You had to listen to the radio, and when they said what the name of the song was, then you could go and find it. And I could never catch ever. I was like, I love this song, but I never caught what name it was as a second grader. And so you're like spending all summer waiting for the radio to say what the name of that song was. And finally they said it, but I waited all summer. And so that anticipation led to it being like, hey, this is my favorite song because it has a good memory associated with it.
You could have called.
And his taste in music hasn't changed since 2nd grade.
Yes.
He could have called the station, hey, what's that song?
But I was a second grader, I didn't have a cell phone.
Nobody had a cell phone.
Right?
If you had a quarter, you could probably make a call.
You had to... So in my town, also, it wasn't the radio station in my town, and so you had to use the long distance.
Oh, my God. Boy, we're taking it back.
So you're going to spend like 97 cents, and my dad would be like, did you call long distance? And get that cribbage board.
No, Dad. No, Dad. I wasn't.
So that's what was going on, man.
Yeah.
In the late 90s, bands. I mean, there was actually a lot of bands, and that was that sound. Well, just like they revolutionized the sound, I believe Marcos did that with what we were doing. It wasn't
for the Hispanic.
Although
I
can show you some tracks he was doing back in 92, 93 that had some electric guitar, man. That was like, and he went through a lot doing it. People burned his CDs because they thought that,
too far,
that he had abolished, the what the church knew as worship. some people started, accusing him of throwing the hymns away, and he's like, man, I don't. So he started singing a hymn in every album. He would do an album, and he started singing a hymn, and that kind of helped. But yeah, he went through a lot of smearing, I guess, because of the style of music, and it wasn't even that. It was kind of like what Hosanna was doing with Ron Canoli and the very pop, clean pop music, But to them, it was like, no, where's my organ? Where's my piano? Where's my hymn? Anyway, so he's considered a pioneer in those regards, And I mean, it reached me. I was in the Valley in '89 when I first heard his stuff, and I was like, wow, man, I could do that. Mm-hmm. I could do that.
Is that what inspired you to continue in music? Was Marcos Witt?
It's funny. It's one of the, but I mean, I started earlier. Listening to, all kinds of music. Luckily, my mom was open to hearing a lot of kinds of music. So by when I was a kid, I knew who Stevie Wonder was. I knew who those type of singers were that were iconic. And so I was, even though I didn't have the records or I didn't have the tapes of those artists, I was familiar with who they were. I remember, man, the opening launch day of MTV. Mm-hmm. I remember that. I remember the world premiere of things like Thriller. Like again, I didn't have the records. I didn't have none of that those albums, but I was familiar with it. And I think that in one way or another, somebody's always influenced by something or somebody. So I took a liking to music because I was hearing good stuff. I remember hearing Carmen, man.
Me too.
I was like, back in '86 or '87, we were going to church, and our Sunday school teacher, man, she's like, hey, there's gonna be a concert with Carmen. I'm like, wow, she has a sweet name. How old is she? I thought it was Carmen, And he's like, no, it's a guy. I'm like, wow, why would they name him Carmen? Because in Spanish it's Carmen. It's a woman's name. Is that pretty common in English too, Carmen?
I guess, yeah.
But when I saw how they spelled it,
is Carmen Sandiego.
Right, there you go. But this guy was Carmen, and I saw it. I was a kid. I'm like, oh,
it's Carmen.
It's Carmen. It's not Carmen. It's Carmen. Anyway, I remember watching the whole Lazarus, come forth. You remember that song? That big old song in the 80s? Yeah. I remember watching that live, man.
His music videos, I feel like, in the Christian industry had the impact like Michael Jackson's music videos.
Carmen was. I remember Texas Stadium in Arlington. Mm-hmm. He packed it out, 75,000 people back in the day, man.
I was telling them either yesterday or the day before, I saw him maybe 92 in the Astrodome.
Yeah.
Pack it out.
I mean, he's just like nothing, and nobody else could do it. And I remember that. I remember, watching him. I remember listening to Russ Taff. Mm-hmm. That's another iconic, edgy guy, Man, just what's his name? The guy from Butterfly Kisses. What's his name? Carlisle. Bob Carlisle.
Is it Bob? Yeah. I almost said Rick Carlisle. He's the coach of the
Butterfly Kisses. You hear Butterfly Kisses, and it's like, oh, smooth, softy, right?
Yeah.
But that dude was singing, like rock stuff in the '80s, man. Like really, really. Brian Duncan. Those are guys that I think shaped a lot for the music that we have today. But I do agree, man. I think that we're living in a time where we need a definite that type of person to step up and just change the game again for us. We have good music though. Back in the day, our quality could not compete with anybody. I know it's not a competition, but for lack of a better word. But now we have records that sound great.
Yeah, I think rap and hip hop was the worst. Like if you listen to something, you could tell. Minus DC Talk, but they were like crossing over in between, so they had that rock, and then hip hop as well. Mm-hmm. But then like Christian rap came out, and I feel like once, and I'm sure there was others, but like Lecrae,
right,
kind of brought that mainstream,
mm-hmm.
Christian rap, and his music sounded like what you would hear if you turned on another radio station, right?
Yeah, I remember when even before Lecrae came in, there was another band, Grits. Remember Grits?
I do. Yeah.
He feel it, she feel it. I mean, those guys were cutting edge too. Mm-hmm. doing their whole thing, and so yeah, I mean, we got good music. We got, as far as quality, we have great music too. But I feel like we're ready for another little, I guess, revolution.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Christian EDM.
I told him no.
We don't have it yet.
Well, they're doing it.
Well, I told him, well, Young and Free, because they bring elements, and then Planet Shakers do like the drops and all that, and the programming.
Yeah, I mean, there is some elements. I like EDM, you know, I dig it.
Well, I tell them EDM focuses on the music, the beat, the feel, which is great. But Christian music, usually the lyrics are, what I've heard, the lyrics are a little bit more focused on than, you know, the music. So it's more on what is the content, what is the word saying. Parents aren't going to let their kids listen to it if they can't understand the words usually. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, hey, we want to sell records so we can make another one.
My mom is always, like growing up, was always concerned about the lyrics.
Which is good. I think that's good parenting.
There was an LFO song. It was
Summertime Girls.
Summertime Girls. And it says Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and my mom was like, you cannot get that song. Stop listening to it. There's a curse word. And I was like, Mom, they're not cursing. And I finally got the album.
Well, I do see a trend, though. I do see a pattern. You know, in the 50s, you get the electric guitar. Mm-hmm. And everybody's doing that Chuck Berry, that surf music, that Beach Boys. Very electric sounding thing. Wow, electric. You know, in the 60s, you get the hippie, and we go to acoustic, a lot of acoustic sounding stuff, acoustic piano, acoustic guitar, a lot of real happy sounding orchestral stuff, you know. And you go back to the 70s, and you go back to electric stuff, electric bass, funky guitar. Now you got this thing called synthesizers, you know. And then you go to the 80s, and everything becomes digital.
Even drums.
Everything is completely digital. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the 90s, and everything's grungy, you know, distortion and you know, just that sound. But you also have the alternative side that had a lot of acoustic. So here we go back to acoustic, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got early 2000s, and we go back, you know, to more of a poppy, you know, Bieberish type of thing, right? And I just feel like I think we're gonna end up back in acoustic here pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, it never goes out of style, but a little bit more with the acoustic sound. Right now, I like the textures that are going on right now with the electric music combining with real samples. You know, it's pretty cool. A lot of vocal samples, you hear a lot of loops, but I eventually think that we're gonna end up coming back to speaking of music style. But lyrically, I think, you know, we're ready, man. We're ready for something really cool, especially when it comes to praise and worship. Mm-hmm. And I think we're primed and ready for a new voice, a new song. And what I mean by a new voice is a new voice of the congregation, new congregational sound of worship. And I think every decade and every era had a sound of worship.
Yeah. Can we talk about congregational worship? Because some songs... And me and Kurt have this conversation. He's like, oh, I love this song. I'm like, man, it's a great song, but, man, it's just not a congregational song. Or there's other songs that can be sang together. Like, some songs are performances.
I think the biggest thing for me, though, is when I go to church, I want to party. I don't want to go to church and, like, sit there and cry. You know, like, I don't want to go to a funeral. I want to go and I want to have a great time. I want to dance in the aisles. I want to run down in the middle, like, screaming and shouting. I want to be, like, right next, like... I've told you this before. Like, I wish that there wasn't any chairs, that we could just stand there right next to the praise and worship band, like right there at the front, and make it a concert. I wish the lights and the fog machines and all of that would be fantastic.
In the Bible says, you know, to make a joyful noise, and David went and danced in the streets. But do you think he had the fog machines? Do you think he had the lights? Do you think he had, like, the guitar just hitting the right note and the EDM going? No, you know, you have to make that for yourself, you know, and that's that vertical relationship, and you have to be so confident and happy and have that relationship with God that He did this for me, so I'm going to praise and just find joy and not count on the guitar being in that perfect tune.
But if I'm going to a concert, and I went to the Air One concert was the last one that I went to, and Skillet was there, right? And Skillet, lights, fog machines. I love that feeling. I had a feeling of...
You were entertained.
I was entertained, and I felt overwhelmed, and I felt the Spirit was there too in that moment. And there have been, I can have that kind of thing where there's lights and fog machines and all that stuff, and still have the Holy Spirit touch me. And that's the kind of experience that I want to come into church in. Because I grew up in a church. I grew up Lutheran. Our church services were boring. You know, you're sitting in a pew, you sit down, and then you stand up, and then you sit down, and then you stand up, and it was boring.
Also, here's the other thing. If you want that every time, like, then you're going to want something else. It's like whenever we do, like, hey, we shave Kurt's head, everybody's like, oh, that's awesome. If we shave Kurt's head again, it may not get that big of a response. Because you always want to push the envelope, and it's like, oh, like, now we need an extra smoke machine, and we need, what are your thoughts?
Shouldn't churches do that, though? Shouldn't they go out and try to do something innovative every time that they do service?
And that's why people will stop coming to church whenever you don't give away a turkey every service. That's why people stop coming to church whenever you don't have that fog machine. We've talked about this with John Christ, right?
Right.
And is it the church's fault that people don't come? Because it's like, well, I'm not coming because there's not a food truck. Or you know what? They're not giving away school supplies today, which we will continue to do as Abundant Life and as the church. But, you know, it's creating a culture.
But see, that's what the world is doing. The secular community is going out of their way to find the next big thing.
I want to hear Sergio's thoughts.
And the church shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think there's a time and place for everything. I come from a life where I stand on the stage in front of a lot of people, you know, and we do the lights, we do the whole thing, and there is I don't have a problem with an entertainment factor, and I of course I believe God can move through anything. I like that. I like sitting down at a concert and enjoying the show, if you will, for lack of a better word, and. I like energy. I like jumping. And that's all good. I ain't got no problem with that. But there is such thing as congregational worship and about singing together as one. Bible talks about being in one accord. Bible talks about here's the thing that I can share with you. When Jesus died on the cross, he says, "It is finished." So basically anything that we pray for is technically done. Because of his blood, because of his stripes, we are healed, because he said it is finished. So basically, when we ask the Lord to do something, he already did it. Mm-hmm. There's only one thing that I know, that I have found that he actively does. And that is, the Bible says that he seeks those who worship him in spirit and in truth. So if there's anything God is actively doing right now, is seeking somebody who's really worshiping him. Now you may say, well, Sergio, what does that have to do with music? What does that have to do with lights? Nothing. Lights, music, smoke machines, audio, all that, those are great tools, man. But that's not worship. I want to use them every time I worship. It's amazing. It might catch the eye of somebody who doesn't know Jesus and might attract them. Mm-hmm. Great. Those are tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the song that comes from in here, and that's what I meant by that there's a new song coming up in the congregation. And I'm not talking about a specific church. I'm talking about the world church. I'm talking about everybody who is a believer. And I believe there is a power, man, when we sing together and when we sing songs that some of them have become anthems. You know, like, it's amazing what happens every time somebody sings "How Great Is Our God," and we're like, hey, you know, sometimes in planning meetings you're like, man, that song again, you know, it's kind of old. But no matter what, you sing it and there's 1,000 people, they're singing it together, there's just something to it, man. And it's not the song, it's how we're doing it, and that we recognize how great, you know, God is. So yes, there is songs that there are songs that were meant to encourage us. There are songs that were meant to tell a story. There are songs that were meant to show a problem and show a solution. But then there's songs, and those are the type of songs that I kind of look for when I try to lead worship, that are vertical, mm-hmm. and that speak straight to God, speak straight to Jesus, speak straight to him as my friend, you know. And like something simple like I exalt thee, O Lord. The song's old, probably was in the 70s, but it's so simple. I exalt the chorus. I exalt thee, I exalt thee, I exalt thee, and then they just add "O Lord." You sing that once in a congregation. Whoever doesn't know it, by the second time around, they're singing it with you. So now you have 1,000 people or 100 or whatever people singing with you. and it just turns into this congregational sound that is vertical. And there's a beauty in that, man. I've seen God, again, there's a time for everything.
Right.
But when we do gather together to worship, praise and worship, I believe it should be done congregationally,
You mentioned earlier that the Bible says, God is actively seeking people who worship him in spirit and in truth.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, in spirit and in truth?
Well, that's a nice question, and that's a pretty stumping question. It could be, right?
Okay.
When you don't understand what worship is. But what it's really saying is, in all honesty, like, you can hear somebody sing a song about a tragedy. You can hear somebody sing it. Somebody else wrote it, but somebody sings it and like, oh, he sang about a tragedy. But if you were to sing if you were to hear the person who actually wrote it,
they feel
sing it,
yeah,
you could see the story come alive in their face. Like, man, they lived that. They're just not writing about it. They lived it. And that's what I think worshiping in spirit and the truth is. I live it.
Also, I guess how the Bible says, hey, you can be saved,
Yeah.
Say with your mouth, but believe it in your heart.
Right.
And then you can be saved.
I think it has to do with living it. Like, man, this guy worships. Or this young lady worships, and it looks like they get lost, and some people might not even understand it, but you can tell when somebody does it in spirit and in truth. And again, I think it goes back to that. You live it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lifestyle.
We're talking to Sergio Gonzalez right now. It's 9:51. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. Sergio, you are the music director for Marcos Witt. You actually have won a Grammy. You received a Grammy for can you share, how did you get that?
I just stepped on the platform and they gave it to me. Back in
where's the platform so I can just step on one and go?
It's in Vegas. We did a record a few years back that we recorded at Lakewood Church here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we had about 18, 19, 20, whatever the capacity was of people there all the way around. And it was a 25th anniversary album for Marcos Witt. And we recorded about over 30 songs in one night.
Like greatest hits?
Yeah. And we redid the arrangements, we redid everything. We had an orchestra. We had horns, percussion, we had everything, man. It was just a huge thing. And so we did that record, and that record was nominated for a Grammy, and it won. I got to be there when it was announced live,
How was that feeling?
Oh, man. I was like, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? And yeah, man, it was kind of trippy. It was kind of trippy. Marcos had gone through an accident where he jumped out of the boat thinking that the lake was 12 feet deep and it was only 1 foot deep. So when he landed on his ankles, yeah, he pretty much shattered them. And
Wow.
for those of you watching on camera, his legs were kind of like,
ouch,
like this.
Yeah.
So we were there, and he was on a wheelchair. So when they announced that we won, we actually had to help him up. He said, I want to walk it. And he walked it with cast on his feet, slow. Everybody waited and just clapped until he got up there. So I remember that. And I remember, okay, well, I'm going to come up here and Marco's going to say some words. And of course, he's very articulate and he knew what to say, when to say it. And then he looks at me. He says, Sergio, say something. And I'm like, really? Like, you prepared like your statements and I didn't get it. Let's just say something. And that was kind of really cool, to be able to accept an award like that. And, I thank God for it.
Were you working with him when he did Jesus?
I produced that album, yeah.
How did you guys come up with that? Dun 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 dun.
How did I come up with that? Let's see.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did the arrangements on that album.
I love that
Yeah.
that beat, or that, I guess what you call it, that tune
Mm-hmm.
gets me every time.
Little melody, yeah.
Like I could just listen to that. I don't even have to listen to like Marcos Witt sing. I just want to listen to that piece.
I remember I was on on a desk with a keyboard, and I just bought some new, sound modules. You're always buying new libraries and stuff like that.
It's expensive.
Telling me, and then it gets more expensive when you lose your keys and your dongles and your serial numbers. But anyway, I was messing around with one thing that had just nothing but vocals, and I heard that little thing that Curt is singing, and I don't know, I just kind of and it just kind of like okay, it's just like,
seriously,
yeah, seriously, just like that. And I always like to do like 3-note things, I think it's simple and it just worked out like that. I'm glad you liked it, Curt. I didn't even know you were familiar with that music.
I love that. I listen to that song a lot.
Wow.
More than I probably should listen to it.
Wow.
Because it's so that melody, that dun dun dun
Wow.
dun 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 dun.
Thank you, Curt. One more time.
Do it one more time, Curt.
Dun 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 dun.
What was his favorite band in the world again?
Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, do you like Jesus better than Goo Goo Dolls? All right,
let's not jump to conclusions here.
Whenever it comes to writing music, I guess with any artist, even Marcos, is it a lyrical thing? I'm sure Marcos is musical and he's been doing this for years. So does he bring something to the table, and then you kind of help bring it together and arrange and part it, or what?
Yeah, Marcos is a incredible musician. He plays several instruments. He plays the piano, singer. But he has a way of writing songs that's pretty cool. Very simple, but very cool.
Yeah.
And usually by the time he brings up a song, he's pretty much knows where he wants to take it and where he wants to go. I've co-written stuff with him. He's also an excellent co-writer, or somebody to co-write songs with, because he bounces ideas. But it definitely lyrics, man.
You come with the lyrics first?
Well, no. Sometimes you got a little melody. But the most important part is definitely lyrics. Like,
yeah.
I know there's some songs that we did that I had fooled around with some arrangements, and it was just music. And he's like, "Hey, I like that music," and then he put some words to it. But I mean, it doesn't matter what comes first: melody, music, chord structure, rhythmic structure. It really doesn't matter. For me, at the end of the day, it's definitely lyrics, man.
Yeah, that's what will connect with people.
Yeah, and that's especially if it has, again, we do praise and worship, but especially if it has biblical content,
Mm-hmm.
we believe the word is a double-edged sword, and it just adds a lot more weight to the song.
Whenever I've written music before, I usually come up with the chords and a melody, and then from there may be one line that I hear of the words, and then I go around that.
Right.
Whenever my wife writes music, she plays piano, but we don't have one at our house.
Mm-hmm.
So what she does is she comes up with like, hey, this is my chorus, sings it, and this is my verses, this is the so she comes with a melody, and then it's like, well, chart it, which is possible too.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, well, there's so many chords you could take this to, and so then you got to find and I've chorded stuff for her, and then taking it to a producer, and producer's like, those chords stink, we're gonna change them, and so I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't care, because I try not to have an ego,
right?
But we wrote a couple songs here in this past week, and so we wrote another one yesterday, and so I had come up with, and I thought it was for me at first, and then I realized halfway through, this song is for you, and so I had come up with the chords and melody, and so we sat down and we had bounced off some lyrics back and forth, with each other, which is really cool. And so, but just finding, because we haven't written many songs together, I've written songs with my friends and everyone else, so just trying to find that, how is this going to work if we do this together, was interesting.
Yeah, everybody has a different process, man. There's days where I didn't expect to write a song, and I just wrote it.
Yeah.
And then there's days where I want to write a song, and it took me forever.
Can't get it.
Yeah, and but one thing that I do, especially when it comes to praise and worship, if I can hear a mass singing it in my head, I'm onto something.
Yeah.
Like if I can hear 10,000 people sing a chorus that I'm writing, I'm onto something. I can't take credit for that concept. I learned that from Marcos, and it's true. A lot of these songs that he wrote are considered anthems, and many people might not know because it's Spanish music. But when you hear those records and And he'll tell you, man, I heard 10,000 people, singing it in my head, and it's true. So I try to use that for praise and worship.
Yeah.
For praise and worship, and I guess you go through a lot of things that teach you. Like I remember, what's the name of that band?
What era?
90s. And I'm still alive. Yeah. What's the name of this band?
Is it a secular or Christian artist?
secular artist. Not Stone Temple Pilots.
It's that kind of music?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm blanking out on this band.
If you're listening on our Facebook stream, maybe type it in. It's 10 o'clock.
Eddie, the singer, Eddie Renner, I don't know what his name is. Anyways, that song, I saw it on a video, and what is the Vedder? Eddie Vedder.
Mm-hmm.
Find me the name of the band, or I'm gonna go crazy, Kurt.
Eddie Vedder, Ethan.
He searched "I'm Still Standing" and it's Elton John and
no.
Taron Egerton.
Look for Eddie Vedder. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. It's such a popular band. I'm drawing such a blank.
I got you. So that's okay. Eddie, singer songwriter, Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pearl Jam? You forgot Pearl Jam?
Hey man, it's 9 in the morning and you guys are drinking Monster drinks and I'm not. So Pearl Jam, I remember watching it on a video on, I don't know where I was, and I saw, I going to the whole masses thing. It was like a documentary where he said, my dad was a loser. My dad was a loser. My dad was this. My dad was that. My mom was having trouble. We were doing, he was talking about how bad his childhood was. And when he wrote the song, he wrote it as sarcastically, like, here we are, but I'm still alive. Like, what a drag. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
But when he started singing it, I sing better than what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of, I don't want to make Kurt feel bad. But
I'm the only one who sings on this show.
So he goes, so he started singing, and I'm still alive, like whatever. I'm sarcastic, like, man, I'd rather be dead, basically, is what he's saying. But when he started singing it live, people started shouting it back at him. And I'm still alive. And he's like, man, what was meant to be a sarcastic thing all of a sudden turned into a declaration of being alive, right? I know it's a secular artist, but it even hit him because he heard masses singing it back to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of those songs, for instance, what we talked about earlier, How Great Is Our God, that we can sing it on our own, but when we sing it, we're talking about congregation, right? When we sing it congregationally, it has that effect on how God hears it too.
Wow. And
just like it shocked Eddie Vedder to hear them flip the idea of what he intended for those lyrics and shouting life back to him, I believe that when we do that congregational worship, not only does God hear us, but somebody in there might get, you ever hear people sing around you? You just get some chills, man.
Yeah.
And there was a powerful thing in it.
Stripping away the instruments and building it back up, and you just hear the voices. That can be powerful. Yeah.
It's powerful, and you never know who's in the congregation sitting for the first time, and could get that, wow, what just happened here?
That's happened to me when you guys are performing, not performing, when you guys are doing praise and worship, and there's been moments when in that fourth song, all of a sudden you just like, hey, strip it away, and there's nothing there except for maybe you talking. I've talked about this sensation that I get when the Holy Spirit always shows up, and it happens every time. And, I'm kind of like that, there's that little kid in that movie where he's like, they're here. I always go, he's here in my head because I can feel the Holy Spirit hitting my spine.
Yeah.
And it makes you like paralyzed in a way where you're like, I can't move. I have this like awesome, like Jesus Christ is here, the Holy Spirit's here. And it's just like overwhelming in a way.
A reverence takes place. Back in the day, we used to do it very, you grew up Lutheran. You know what it is to walk in and now you might call it boring, but it was their way of thinking, this is how we revere God.
Respect,
Yeah, respect things of God. But it goes back to biblical times. I mean, when the burning bush, what does God tell Moses to do? Take your sandals off.
Holy ground, yeah.
You're standing, and he revered him. Isaiah, when he has that vision with God and he sees the coals coming to his mouth, that means that he wasn't pure enough, so he had to purify his lips with that coal. It's a vision, it's a whole thing, but it always had to do with reverence. It does go to the New Testament because you always get, well, that was in the Old Testament. Well, the alabaster bottle, reverence. She broke the alabaster bottle on his feet, and when Jesus shows up to a place, when the Holy Spirit shows up to a place, especially during congregational worship, like you said, you feel it in your spine. You feel it, you feel something in the air. You feel the Holy Spirit, but a sense of reverence kicks in that nobody has to tell you, like, hey, man, don't go to the restroom right now, or don't sit down right now. You just know something happened. There was a shift in the atmosphere. There was a shift in what was going on, and reverence just kicks in a way where everybody just stands still. Sometimes you don't even have to ask people to lift their hands. It happened, and you just lift your hand. You lift your worship,
Yeah.
And I love how that happens.
As a musician, I think one of the best things that I learned, speaking of stripping away, is knowing when not to play. As a kid, I grew up playing in church. Look what I can do. I learned something new. Hey, I can put it in. I'm going to do everything I can do in every song. Every single song. And then it was, through, I'll call them trials, tribulations, learning, growing pains, working with people over me who poured into me, who taught me, hey, that's great, you can do that, but maybe not. And I'm like, oh, are they trying to hold me, hold me back or whatever? But no. And that's one thing I always try and tell everybody, but I'm like, man, you got to save it because you can't do everything on every song. Sometimes you just got to hold it down. And then whenever you do something, it's that much more. Or whenever you strip it away, it can create that powerful moment or bring the Spirit and allow people to receive.
There's times for it. There's times for everything, man. There's absolutely. Congregational worship should be very simple music. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but by all means, it can be as creative as you want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of congregational worship is to get everybody involved. And if you start playing something that they don't understand, you're going to lose them. Now you're hindering their worship. But if you play something, it's almost childlike. When you go into a classroom and you hear kids singing nursery rhymes or stuff like that, everybody just knows them because they're so simple. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little. And when you hear them singing it together, there's a powerful thing that happens there, and there's something about worship music that is done simple. Now, as a music producer, this is something that I think about when we do a praise and worship album. Hey, let's do this record, but let's do it so that anybody in any congregation can play the song. They can play the bass, they can play the guitar part, they can play the keyboard part, and we still have a good sound. It's still modern. It's still mainstream, if you will, but it's simple enough for people to play. I mean, what good is it for us to put out a record that it's super, super uber, creative, and nobody wants to sing it or play it because they can't, or because they don't understand it, So there's a balance there, and I like simple music. I like dynamics. I think simple music, and I'm very dynamic. Bring it down, bring it up. I mean, you've seen me. We work together every weekend. Bring it down, bring it up, hold it there, bro. Hold on, very hand signal oriented, but always simple, always tight, always, I think that's important. There's time and space for creativity and for virtuoso musicians as well. It's an art, but we're speaking of congregational stuff right now, and in those regards, I like to keep it simple, and most of that music is.
So one of my friends, Jonathan Solis, he just tuned in. So good morning, Jonathan. He's, speaking of, like, I would consider him like a virtuoso. At a young age, he was just started picking up instruments. Probably like yourself. He's the closest comparison to you that I've met and know in real life. But he's put out like a ton of music. Got a record deal. Young age, did the thing, Nashville stuff. But I've worked with him in music, and we played. I mean, I'm like a year and a half older than him or something like that. Mm-hmm. But growing up with him, he also helped me grow a lot. And it was, at a way, like, I understood, like, he's better than me. You know, so I'm going to listen to what he has to say. If I'm going to play bass for him, he signed, you know, like to Sony, then I'm going to, you know, take this into consideration. So I don't know. I just saw that he had tuned in, so I kind of wanted to make that. But he actually played for Skillet. He joined Skillet, and so he was their guitarist, not like a touring musician. He was in Skillet.
Yeah.
And you know, and toured with them and stuff. But he's the real deal. But he did tour like with Disciple, like as, hey, we need a guitar player because you know, we have to play shows. So,
yeah.
But he's a monster guitar player, great vocalist, and he puts out worship songs now.
He wrote the "Dancing in the Desert" song, right?
Oh yeah,
wow.
That we do here at the church.
Yeah, we play it like
that's
three or four of their songs that he wrote.
Jen sings that. Yeah, that's a great song.
So Jonathan, put out some more music. Email me those tracks. I need them.
Come on, man.
Keep them coming.
Yeah,
we
Stop
need new
holding out,
music.
man. Stop holding out.
Yeah. So
and we go back to what something interesting that you said right now. Well, he was better than me. Well, what is better? You know, I what if the guy plays 100 million notes excellently, but he doesn't connect with you? And yet, you know, my 12-year-old daughter comes in with a Taylor guitar and knows 3 or 4 chords, and will hit you.
yeah.
So what is better? You know, what is quote unquote better?
Yeah.
The skill or the fact that you got to touch somebody? And when we go back to that whole spirit and truth thing.
Yeah.
You know when people say, "Oh, he's got soul," you know, people think it has to do with the R&B and the whole gospel thing. No. It has to do with you sing from your soul.
Can you learn that?
I think it's something that we all have. It's just some people choose to release it and some people don't.
That's sometimes not easy to release because even like in songwriting, let's say
vulnerability, bro,
Yeah.
can be a musician's worst nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And being watched and being. Sometimes you judge yourself harder than people are actually judging you. And yeah, I struggled with that when I was very young. And you wouldn't think that today because I really don't care. Today, I'm not even a singer. I sing because they asked me to,
Right.
you know. And I lead worship, you know. But, 15, 20 years back, there's no way. I was very insecure, very, I had my little... Ooh, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna?
Of vocals or playing?
Anything.
Just anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they're judging me because how I play, or because I thought it was about how you played, skill wise, and I was wrong, and I realized that it's those who can use the instrument to touch people, or their voice to touch people. Those are the guys. You know why they call them interpreters, right? Like a musician is an interpreter of music. A singer is an interpreter. Well, every time Jesus spoke to us in the Bible, he always used earthly elements: fire, wind, water, lightning, thunder. God, thunder. Or God showed up to Moses, burning bush.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Earthly elements. But there's an element, like wind. You can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't grab it. You can't hold it. Fire, we figured out a way to kind of manipulate it with a lighter, controlled fire, but we really can't hold it with our hands. And you really can't grab it. Your hand will go, you burn, but your hand will go right through it. Music's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We can't touch it. We can just hear it. We can feel it if it's reproduced through some speakers, but you can't. And we figured out a way to record it.
Try and
onto
capture
something.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's an element. The difference is that fire, water, lightning, and all is an earthly element, and music is a heavenly element. So God uses earthly elements to catch our attention and talk to us, and we use a heavenly element to sing back to Him.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing that we call music, that's not music. I wish I could hear what real music sounded like. I wish I could go to heaven and hear what music is. What we're listening to is an interpretation of music.
I think we'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you hear me play the piano or I hear you play the guitar, or that's not. It's I'm reproducing music. I'm interpreting music that's in here, out here.
Yeah.
But that's not music. That's an interpretation. Now, there's some people that get better at interpreting than others.
Yeah. Some people are born better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they know how to just release, and they're not vulnerable. But this thing that we call music, these songs you were playing earlier, that's the interpretation of.
Yeah. Do you think anybody can learn to sing, like as an adult? Is that something that if you're not musical at a young age, like listening to music, humming, can anybody learn
If
to
you're
sing?
not a world-class singer like Kurt Casper,
Is it already too late?
If music has to do with language. So if at an early age you learned melody and you learned little, how to hold a tune, most people can sing a tune. Most people can sing a song. Now, whether they have a great voice or not is beyond, is a whole other point. There's some people that have a great voice and can't sing. There's people that can sing and don't have a voice. I can meet myself. I think I can sing pretty good in tune, but I don't have the greatest voice in the world. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Or some people are blessed with both. But when you're young and you learn to listen to melodies and stuff like that, you have a better chance. If you were never, around music or learned melodies or learned as a kid, it's gonna be hard when you get older. And you ever heard that that term, tone deaf?
Yeah.
I don't think they're tone deaf necessarily. It's just that they didn't develop the skill to. They had the ability, they didn't develop the skill to do it. And some people can, some people can't. So I know people that can't, and I know people that can.
There was a guy, and he was a teenager, but I remember he didn't have the best voice, but this is whenever recording software first was readily available, because I was a little older than I was, about a teenager too. He would just start recording his voice, listen to it, go back, recording his voice, and almost became obsessed with it. And he ended up recreating his vocals. Yeah. And did good.
It's all about listening, man. It's all about listening to the details and everything. And when you record yourself, man, you want to talk about vulnerability and
honesty.
exposure. Yeah.
First time I recorded vocals, when people are around, it was it's vulnerable. And you're just like, oh man, if I mess up, or what are they laughing at me? Because I have on headphones and they're just hearing my raw vocal, and it probably sucks. Especially the first time out of who knows how many times you're going to have to sing this track, layer it, loop it, do all this stuff, chop it up, probably tune it anyways.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable, and it's an honest moment whenever you hear it back.
Yeah. And
sometimes not fun.
I tell artists, like, hey, let's have this vocal session. You're going to sing, I'm going to record you. And I don't let people come in, because I don't want them to perform for the people. I want them to get lost and let's get a moment. Let's catch a moment. Recording is all about catching moments. And the other thing I tell artists and singers is, hey, we live in the digital age. You have 1 million tries.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mess up, don't beat yourself up. Let's keep going. We have 1 million tries.
Yeah, back in the day, it's like, we got this one tape left.
Yeah, man.
You gotta nail this.
Like, it's already like we're already wearing the tape out. No, it happened.
Yeah.
There's legendary stories about Michael Jackson that every time he had to do a tape, he wanted it on virgin tape. So they would put a whole new tape just for a new take.
Wow.
That's eccentric.
Hey, here's a question. This is from Solian. She said, have you ever heard of, it's Marcos Brunet. Is that
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of him. Great. That's a deep worshiper right there, man. That is one deep worshiper. And I think the name of his ministry is Toma tu lugar, take your place. Asking God to take his place in your life.
Who does Marcos listen to? Marcos Witt. Who's he listening to in English or Spanish?
He listens to Marcos Witt. No, that would be. You know what? He likes a lot of things. I couldn't tell you what his favorite is, but I know he likes electronic music. I know he likes rock music. I know he loves, when he's in town. I know he loves to go to the symphony, and he'll just enjoy that. But he's pretty open, man, and pretty up to date with what's going on. He likes, a lot of the worship bands that are out now, and he's pretty well versed. He's pretty well up to date, I guess you could say. But
so something new comes out, he's probably going to check it out.
It's hard for him not to like something.
Yeah,
maybe he prefers something, but it's pretty, But yeah, he's.
in your personal music, are you picky, or are you kind of on that same like, hey, I'll check it out. Yeah, it's all right, it's good, or like, man, I love this.
You know, there's very few things I don't like. I can respect anything, if I feel the honesty behind it. You know, if I feel that, okay, I get that. You know, I grew up playing folk music, mariachi and tejano and conjunto with accordion and stuff like that, and so I have a little open, you know, mind towards that kind of folky stuff. But man, there's just very few music that I've heard that I can say I just don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like screaming vocals too much. I mean,
do.
screaming with melody and musically, absolutely, you know. But screaming like I sound like a demon, you know. It's like, man, I'd rather hear my dog, you know. But that's me. That's me, you know. I get it, you know. It's ragey. I get why they do it, and people are into that. Hey, but that's why they made different types of music. I'm not into that, you know.
You can like what you like.
So what have you learned? Because we haven't touched on this piece of what you're doing currently. What have you learned from like what you did with Marcos Witt and being his musical director?
Continue to do as well
to come and be a part of the worship team here at Abundant Life Christian Center. How does that correlate?
I came, well, I mean, relationship is everything. I came here by accident, actually. You know, Pastor Hallam is good friends with Marcos. They go back since before I met Marcos, about 20 years. I believe Marcos had a concert here about 20 years ago, about 3,000 or 4,000 people packed out.
Yeah.
And
I was here.
well, he called. I think he texted Marcos. He said, "Hey, I'm looking for a young man, you know, in his mid to late 20s, and I need him to come and play the keyboard, lead worship, and be part of the team." You know, Pastor Hallam's always talking about the team, you know, the A team. And Marcos is like, "Man, I don't know nobody, but let me put you in contact with my musical director," right? So I got in contact with Pastor Hallam, and we set up a meeting. And I think you were there, right?
I was
Gardy?
there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places, Papa's Seafood.
Oh, my God.
I know I told you that. You're like, you need to get out more. I was like, what? Papa's Seafood's so good.
Chilean sea bass. So I get there, and he's like, "Well, Pastor, you know, I got your text. I have the text here, and let me help you look for somebody, man. Let me help you look for somebody that'll fit the bill, what you're looking for." He goes, "No, you do it." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm way like you said mid to late 20s. I'm late 30s, man. Like I can't do. No, you're the guy. No, I'll look for somebody, Pastor." And so I'm like, "You know what? I'll help you on the meantime." So I started helping in the meantime, and started doing Sunday nights, but that had to do with relationship, Curt. You know, like if I would have never known about it if he didn't know, you know, Marcos, and if he didn't, you know, but you know, God knows what he does, and that had to do with that.
So what is it like? What have you learned from your time with Marcos Witt that kind of correlates back into the worship team?
Oh man, it's a little different because when you're in church, you're dealing with volunteers. Most are volunteers, and when you're with Marcos, everybody's a paid professional. So you know, one thing I've learned is how to switch channels. You know, when I'm with Marcos, it's like, "Guys, we're going to be here at so and so time. Downbeat is at this. We're going to do that. Boom, this is the song list. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Do it. We're out." Very like that. And in church, it's a little different, man. It is what it is. You know, I had to learn that people are not in that industry, and people are people. And you work with them. "Hey, can we do it?" "Okay, yeah, okay. All right. Can we start now?" "Yeah, okay. Can you count it off?" "Yeah, okay." "You ready?" "Yes." "Okay. We good?" "All right." You know, that type of thing, you know? And so you learn Halluminator. And so you learn how to switch channels in those regards, you know what I mean? So that's one thing that I've learned, you know. my patience, you know. I mean, I'm a pretty patient guy, but you know, you're used to things being done stat, you know, and you know, church is a little different. Although we have a pretty darn good team here, man. Jen does a great job of leading our team, and we're pretty smooth on how we do what we do and how we do it is, I'd say, is pretty cool.
Where do you see it going? You know, because we come, you know, every week and we introduce, you know, new songs and try, and Pastor Hallam, you know, as the visionary and overseer of Abundant Life and the music team and everything, has really put it into us and has seen like, hey, I see music, you know, music coming. Is there anything that you feel or see or just, you know, being a part of it want to
I think
say?
I think what I see is what I told you earlier, that I hear a new song coming, a new, Bible calls it Song of the Spirit. And I don't know where it's going to come from. It can come from anywhere, but I know it's coming, and I know we're all going to jump into that. I don't know who it's coming from, where it's coming from, how it's coming from. I really don't care, but I know it's coming. And we just have to be sensitive enough to be ready for it.
Yeah.
As far as preparing and having a band and stuff, you know, you can always get better. You can always, you know, improve things. You can always, that stuff, that's a given. But being sensitive to what we do and understanding the spiritual side of what we do, I think that's where the big growth is. You know, I think there's a lot of young people, and I include myself, because, you know, when you're young, you don't see it the same way. It's a school. You know, I went through a technical school, and then I went through a spiritual school.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of young people that are learning about how to play worship, but they haven't learned how to worship. They're learning how to execute an instrument, but they haven't learned how to execute worship.
Do you think it's important to be a part? You know, okay, let's say you're a worshiper, you're a musician. Do you think it's important to be a part of like a home team, or just like, hey, I'm going to hop around and wherever anybody, you know, will let me sing or play, I'm going to go do? Or there's probably beauty in both. There's a place for both.
If you're making it about playing, good luck. It's going to get old. It's going to let you down. It's not going to fill you. It gets old. It gets old, man. I got to a point in my life where God allowed me to live a lot of the dreams. Maybe they're not big to other people, but to me, they were big dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is to play in front of 100,000 people. I know what it is to receive a Grammy. I know what it is to have a #1 song on the radio many times. I know what it is to... God allowed me to live these things. And then I got to a point where, now what? So I achieved all these things. So I did all these things. Now what? It didn't fill me, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through things in life, you lose things in life, and God restores you, and you realize, this is the very thing that I need. And you know, we grew up in church all our lives, but you say, you know, this is what matters. He is what matters. And music stops being music. Now music starts, there's a purpose for music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a purpose for this. And if you just start doing the whole hopping thing, where they pay me, it's going to get old very fast. Very fast. There's nothing like being at a church and getting pastored by a pastor.
Right now, it is 10:28. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We're talking to Sergio Gonzalez. Hey, here's a quick reminder. There is something brand new that just released today.
Yeah, that is the KHEA radio app. If you're listening at 99.5 FM, if you're watching on our Facebook page, you can go search for KHEA Radio in the App Store, in the Google Play Store. It's brand new. We're rolling out features every single day inside of that app. So get it. We'll notify you when something new drops in. You're going to be able to get coupons for local restaurants. You're going to be able to get up-to-date information about what's going on here at KHEA Radio. You're going to be able to tune in and listen live anywhere in the world, as long as you have the KHEA Radio app. So go and download the KHEA Radio app. Just search for it in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Notice the white stripe.
And notice the white stripe. Did
That's
you download it yet?
No, I'm getting really bad signal here.
That's true. In this room, we do have Wi-Fi, and we usually have to connect to it. Otherwise, our stuff is no bueno. But once you do download it, make sure that you leave a review. 5-star. It changed my life. It changed my life. Download it right now.
You got it.
So
that white stripe does make a difference when you look at it next to other apps.
Let me see it from far.
checking out the app icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when you see that. And we had a conversation about it because originally it was just going to be the white stripe. And we said, you know what, we'll just throw KHEA radio inside of that, KHEA inside of that white stripe. And I think it makes a huge difference. It looks smooth.
It looks good.
Looks good, man.
And it's a great feature.
You should add that to your collection.
A KHEA tattoo?
Yeah.
Kurt's supposed to get one when we hit 10,000 Facebook likes.
No, bro, stop. Really,
10,000 Facebook likes.
I'll do anything for this radio station. I will give my life for KHEA radio.
Can you do something for me?
Okay.
Don't get a tattoo.
KHEA on the other arm.
Like, so shaving your head, okay, the hair grows back. Shaving your eyebrows, okay, it grows back.
See, we've done that, but now the tattoo is next because you always have, once you add the smoke machine, once you add the lights, then you got to add the KHEA tattoo. You got to always push the envelope, be next.
I am not on board with this.
So I was watching the opener last night. You know, I'm working on a new opener for the church for Abundant Life Christian Center. And
I wish I had a clapping like.
They're like, we're tired of real love. We're tired of it.
Holy work.
Right? And the one thing that I found, I went and looked at, I was looking at the Houston Rockets, like openers.
They have a great opener.
And I found one with Travis Scott, right? Where Travis Scott was like, we are Houston, run as one. So I was thinking, like, how cool would it be if it was like, dun dun.
Pastor Hallam with smoke machine coming behind him.
Pastor Hallam, and it's like, dun 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 dun. Welcome to church. Dun 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 dun. Abundant Life.
Kurt,
place.
This is precisely why you do radio and I do music production.
And then it's like,
oh my goodness.
And Jen's like, all right, let's get on our feet. Let's go. It's church time.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
So, like, are you ready for this? Is the number one song on the set list? Are you ready for this? Bum, 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 bum. And then Bugs Bunny comes out with Michael Jordan. God. It's like Space Jam. That's
greatest church service start ever.
Wow.
No.
How much more time do you have? You still good, huh? Pastor came by.
He didn't say anything. So we're supposed to take a trip right now. So.
Where are you going today?
Alice, Texas.
Ooh.
What are you going to Alice for?
Have some fun.
No, we there's a church service we're gonna do over there tonight, and Pastor invited me to go with him, so I'm gonna do that, man. I'm gonna leave you guys here.
Yeah. When was the last time that you actually traveled? I guess like this as a musician, like with a minister.
Like this? Oh, yeah. I've done that all my life.
But when was the last time?
Not too long ago. Here, I'll think right now.
This year?
Yeah.
Well, how come you don't travel with me when I go and minister?
Oh, because you haven't invited me.
Okay, that's true. I'm going to invite you next time. Yeah, we're talking to Sergio Gonzalez. Sergio is the music director for Marcus Witt. He is also, on staff at Abundant Life and a part of the team. What is the title Pastor has given you? Is it music, not music director?
Surge.
You're the surge of the team. Sometimes you need that surge of electricity, making sure that the worship set goes okay.
Nah, I just play the piano and sing, man. That's all I do.
But it's very necessary.
Well,
you play the keyboards.
The keyboards.
Can we get more than one?
Play the keyboards.
Oh man.
By the way, I can't do that voice.
Which one?
I just ruined my voice. Like it's like dry.
It sounds exactly the same.
What voice?
The let's get ready to rumble.
Are you still on that subject?
Oh my goodness!
I'm so sorry, but my
here you go. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Let's get ready to rumble. I actually picked the song that I want. I'm waiting for Pastor Cat to give approval. It's a Bethel song, but it's remixed.
Oh.
And I haven't
what song is it? I love Bethel.
It's remixed.
Their
No
latest
Longer
album.
Slaves.
It's a good song.
Yeah, but it's remixed by Rayer and Retain Remix, and so it's Christian. It's No Longer Slaves.
He don't like
EDM.
it back there. He don't like it over there.
Ethan don't like it.
There's like this big drop where it goes dun, 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 boosh, and then Evan's like jumping around. And I'm like,
yeah, pulling Kurt's mic down a little bit. But if Ethan doesn't like it, then I don't like it either. Do you have any suggestions for like that upbeat song? Because worship songs and congregational songs I feel are easy, but like trying to find those, the praise. I feel like we need more.
The praise is usually high energy stuff. I like high energy stuff. I like like Curt said, the stuff that makes you jump up. You play the bass. I always seen you jumping up and down all the time. I like that kind of stuff. And praise is like that. Praise is like that. But praise is easy. All you got to do is go to a basketball game, go to a football game, and people jump, people shout, people, do whatever that's the easy part. But it's fun, but it's necessary, and it's powerful, especially if it's to God. That's when you talk about His greatness. That's when you talk about the things He's done. That's when you talk about His goodness, His faithfulness. That's when you talk about the great thing. It kind of like what David did in the Psalms. When he talked about God's creation, God's things, God. So praise like that can be very powerful. Worship is different. Mm-hmm. Worship's a little different, and not just anybody can do worship.
Hey, Gardy, I have that song if you wanted to hear it.
Oh my goodness!
Is he still?
Yes.
Have you not acknowledged our segues?
No, I always bring it back. I always bring it back.
Well, I don't really want to hear it right now. I would love to hear it later.
Oh, okay. We'll play it later for you then.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm going to take a break. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Sidewalk Prophets. You can download the KHEA Radio app today. Make sure you go to the App Store, go to the Google Play Store, download the KHEA Radio app. This is You Love Me Anyway.
Is he taking a selfie?
No.
I can't see because your screen has like the...
He said no.
He has the screen block on.
Yeah.
It's like tinted like...
Well, Sergio, he's tried to show me stuff on his phone sometimes before, and I'm like, dude, I have to be right over, which is pretty convenient because nobody can see anything on your phone.
Hey.
What are you hiding, bro?
Nothing.
Maybe like some #1 hit songs, like charts and stuff. No, he says no, but I know that's what it is.
Yeah, he's like...
I just had access to those files.
I'm gonna admit it. You guys
I'm waiting.
Quiet.
I'm waiting.
Everybody's like
I didn't know this
in.
existed. Right?
Okay.
So I didn't know this existed. So
he's looking at the camera making that eye contact.
No, but it would always annoy me because when you're at we're not on live, right?
We're on Facebook, like at the airport or something.
Okay. Yeah, like no, on the airplane.
Okay.
On the airplane, when you're on the airplane, I mean, people are sitting right next to you, and you always got those guys that were like,
woohoo, like looking over there, your conversation,
and then you just kind of like. But now that you're like this, now this guy wants to look at you. So I was like, man, I wish there was something I didn't know. So my girlfriend got it for me.
Nice.
Shout out Rachel. Shout out to Rachel.
She was on here earlier.
Yeah.
She may still be here.
Shout out to Rachel, and she got me this thing, and it's pretty cool.
Well, it's awesome.
Let me see.
It's like tinted windows.
Can you tell on the camera? Does it translate?
Oh yeah, that's cool. It translates really well. It's like you turn it and it disappears.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Look at that. That's cool.
So your girlfriend, she's a very talented singer too, and I know she's been releasing music, and you've been producing some of those tunes. Is that easy to do? Working with your girlfriend, a significant other, and how is it trying to like hone and direct talent like that?
It's different. It's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic because, when you work with an artist, there's usually the I know you, but we're not like that close. Well, with Marcos it is, but we always had a professional dynamic. And when you're working with family, friends, girlfriend, or anything like that, there is no professional. So it's just a little different. Like, no, hurry up and do it. I already did it. No, do it again. Oh, okay. And you have to deal with those type of dynamics. I mean, not that she did it like that. I'm just giving you a really bad example.
It can be there.
It's just more loose. It's more loose.
Plus, you have to see that person later. It's like, okay, well, the session's done, and then it'd be like, I'll see you next week or whenever you have time. And it's like, so where are you eating? So you have to make sure, because I can see how it can be a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Even in my wife, like those little sessions that we have done.
You're on.
Well, like we play it, and it's just like, hey, did you hear what I said? Or no, like, oh, did you hear me? Or like, are you watching? What are you doing on your phone? Like, just like little things like that. Or she's saying that to me, and I'm like, well, do you have a thought here? Yeah, I'm trying to process it.
You get a lot of that. Lot of that. What are we gonna eat? I'm hungry.
And it's like, are you talking about me like me right now? Or talking
no,
about
no. the type of conversations you have.
Yeah, like, are you in this moment right now? Because this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and it just doesn't. I
feel you.
You know, but you deal with a professional. It's like, hey, let's do this take. Yeah, you got it. Boom, bah, boom, boom, boom. Then you get this professional flow, and you can get a flow. Like I get a very good flow with her, but it's not in a professional channel. Although we are being professional by doing our work.
Yeah.
The dialogue is a little bit more, friend.
Yeah. For me, I already mentioned earlier how my songwriting process goes. And I've written Christian songs, but having like those congregational worship songs that actually is that up and down is what I'm working on right now. But my wife, she's done that because all the songs she's written have pretty much been congregational songs. Yeah. And I always and this may be really dumb, but I prided myself in having a song mean so many different things to so many different people, to where it was a direct message, but there was parts of it that were vague. And so I've written a song that was about one thing, and then my friend was like, man, that song, it means this thing in my life, and then I had someone else being like, oh my gosh, that song, and it means something totally different than what it was really about. And I've written a song that wasn't a Christian song. Someone was like, man, is this song about Jesus? Like, yeah, is this song about Jesus? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, it weirded me out. And going back and reading it, I was like, dude, is this song about God? Like, is this song about Jesus? And it's just it's really trippy. So having a song be so direct, be like, there's no shadow of a doubt, is new to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, there's different, We're made by God, and our soul always finds a way to cry out to Him in one way or the other. I think of a song called "Message in a Bottle" with
Police.
The Police.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the lyrics, he's basically saying he's a castaway, and he put a message in a bottle and he threw it. Later on in the song, it says, "Little did I know that there was 100 million other, people asking for help, and that's us when we don't have Christ."
Wow.
Great
song. I love that song.
I mean, but if you think about it, now his soul was crying out. He might not even know what he was writing, but I know what he was writing. It was his soul crying out, like, wow, like I'm not the only one needing God in my life. Look there's 100 million bottles here. That's a pretty powerful song. I'm not saying that you should go out there and listen to it, but you should at least read it.
I like Sting because he was playing dope.
That's Pastor Hallam.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
All right. Well, shout out to Sting playing the bass and singing, and also playing dope bass lines. That's all I had to say. All right, hey, so
Kurt,
you're awesome.
Mr. Gardy Party.
Thank you for coming down.
Ethan Hawk.
I appreciate it. If you want to learn more about Abundant Life Christian Center, go to alcc.org. Come check out a service Sunday mornings.
Don't leave me with him alone, Sergio. Please don't leave me with
Sunday
him.
at 6 p.m. You can hear Sergio play and perform. Not tonight, though, because you're going to be in
You're about to hear me leave. Watch.
He's going to make me listen to No Longer Slaves remix. Don't leave.
I'm no longer.
See you, man. All right. Hey, make sure y'all go download the KHEA radio app.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the KHEA radio app. You can do that.
Drop today.
In the Google App Store and also in the, is it called the Google App Store? It's
Nope.
called the Google Play Store.
Google Play.
And then also in the Apple App Store. You can download it.
The Apple Store. I feel like they should just call it that.
One of the things that I'm really super excited about for KHEA Radio, and we've talked about this before, the Rampies.
The Rampy Awards. That's what you really want to talk about, because you even mentioned it earlier. You're like, dude, we could talk about the Rampies. So the Rampies are going to be our own KHEA Radio Awards. We may give away the best, newest app, and ours came out today, so we should give ourselves the Rampy for that. Who's going to do the acceptance speech?
Local radio apps, KHEA Radio, the only contestant.
Giving themselves their own award. 2019 award.
Yes, we're super excited about the Rampies. If you have a category that you think we should include in the Rampies, please let us know. You can do so by messaging us at Facebook or going to 346-704-1806. We're super excited about the Rampies.
I just saw on your watch party that Jonathan Salas said, "Hey, I'll pay you later, Gardy," because I couldn't see I couldn't see those comments.
Yeah, I saw it. It was hilarious. You were bragging about him being the best.
Yeah, he is. Dude, he's very talented. He's one of the most talented people I've ever got to play with, and he knew it. Like as a kid, he knew it, but he was directing what he wanted. He has a vision, and then it caught the eye of like the industry, which is not easy to do coming from Markham, Texas. You've never been to Markham, but think of like you've been to Danbury. It's smaller than Danbury. It's like
really,
yeah, Markham, Texas.
This was the other idea that I had, and I was thinking about like our coverage area and how many towns that would include.
Yeah,
but I want to do like I'm kind of stealing this from a TV station that I used to work for in Nebraska. They would do a road less traveled. And so they would go to all of these small towns in Nebraska, and they did like 300 episodes. And so once a week, she would go to the town and showcase what that town had to offer. So she would talk to people in the town. She would talk to businesses in the town. So like you and I, we would go to Danbury, Texas, and it would be called Road Less Traveled or whatever we want to call it. I don't know if that's we can't steal it completely, but you know,
the name and
like
all.
go to like Danbury, Texas, and showcase Danbury, Texas in a little. This is Danbury, Texas.
Just showing off the small town,
showing off the small towns in our coverage area. But then you could expand it to all of Texas. Imagine how many episodes we would have to do.
But like are you featuring like, hey, this is the diner, this is the gas station. They've been here for like a million years.
Yeah, it would be. We'd have to go back and see if maybe they're on YouTube and kind of watch them. But it'd be cool to be like. I think she would do like, how did this place start, or what's a cool story? You know, like Lamarck. You know, the debate of whether or not there should be a space between Lamarck. You know, La and Mark. You know, you could do a little segment about that. You know, like why did people start adding a space for Lamarck, or how does that work? You know,
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that would be fun. I could see a lot of people, who are proud of their town that are a part of the history as well. Like we talked about Lamarck, we talked about Benito's, which has been here forever, for so many years. There's a family that started it, then the family that work for it, that own it now, and that legacy continues to spread because the people are so proud of what they created in the town. So we might as well go back on the FM, talk for a bit, remind some people about everything in our app. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
And it is 10:47. We're streaming live on our Facebook page. We're also streaming live on the KHEA Radio app. So we've probably said it at least 10 times today, and I'm going to say it at least 10 more in this next 12 minutes.
Right.
Download the KHEA Radio app. Today, we're going to be starting a campaign encouraging people to do that. If you want to be a part of that, maybe even create your own video, send it to us. Maybe we'll share it out or put it under a thread. Just show us that you've downloaded the app and be like, hey, friends, download the app.
Yeah, if you aren't downloading the KHEA radio app, you're going to miss out on things like prizes and giveaways and a chance to get some coupons, which is coming soon to the KHEA radio app. We maybe rushed a little bit getting the app out, but we want to get it there so that you can start listening to us any time of the day, but then also so that we can start growing and putting out the information that we need. So we're going to be updating it continuously, so stay tuned for more updates. And the best part is the app can do a lot of different things. Maybe order tacos.
Make a sandwich. We actually have a review that the app fixed someone's broken foot or leg or something, or what was it, Ethan?
My leg grew back.
Wow. So there's that. Ethan's leg grew back. Intern Ethan.
Because of the app?
That's what he said.
It's healing people.
Amen.
They're dancing in the streets or dancing in the desert. One of the two.
Yep. So you can also stream us at KHEAradio.com. If you want to send us an email, if you're a business owner, we meet people every day, and that's one of the best parts of this job. Meeting people who own businesses, people who are part of nonprofits. If you want to come on KHEA Radio, if you have something positive going on, let us know. Send us an email, KHEA@KHEAradio.com. You can also send us a Facebook message. That's also an easy way to get a hold of us. Right now, we're getting text messages, and I'm tempted to read them because my phone's blowing up. That's something else I'd mention. I think people wait for me to be on air. And then I finish the show, and it's like, you have 47 text messages, 3 emails, and like 100 notifications on Facebook.
I feel like that's the one thing that people forget. It's like, hey, we really can't message you back while we're on the show.
Well, we try a little bit.
Right. We try.
I've sent a ton of messages this show. Just whenever I get opportunity, I'm like, I got to send this message back because it's important. We have a quick meeting, at 11, as soon as we're done here, about potentials to grow KHEA Radio's programming. So that's exciting. If you have, or you're a personality, and you say, you know what, I should be on KHEA radio. I have a voice. I have something interesting to share. That's another reason to reach out to us, because we are expanding our programming, and we're also expanding opportunities whenever it comes to interning at KHEA. If you have any desire to learn radio, broadcast, video, Photoshop, if you have any desire to learn how to put on an event, how to be a part, how to participate in teamwork, let us know. These are things that we can teach you. These are things that we have to offer, and we have done that. Intern Ethan, can you speak on any of the interning that you have done? Can you at least vouch for us? Did it grow your other leg back?
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity to learn all sorts of editing and speaking on air. I feel like that's a really difficult thing to do. And when I started, I wouldn't even, I had a hard time making comments. Like I could think about it and type it out and erase it if I mess up. But yeah, these are important life skills. You wouldn't think it at first, but as you go through life, especially volunteering for the church and all that, they're just really important skills that I need, and I really appreciate you guys teaching them to me.
We appreciate you.
Yes,
That's awesome.
we do.
I got that tear. I got a single tear. But conversational skills is very important. One of the most important things that I've learned being a part of Kickstart is learning how to listen. Because, and I've mentioned this before, whenever you are having a conversation with somebody, sometimes you're always thinking about what am I going to say next? But you also have to learn to listen, so that way you know where the conversation's going. If you're going to try and lead something or be oh, that's interesting. Okay, mental note. Whether you write that down or whether you just make it and then hey, I'm going to focus on this person again.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I do that sometimes as well.
Learn how to listen?
Learning how to listen.
Yeah.
No,
you don't. You don't listen.
No, I don't listen.
You're always planning on what you're going to say next. Or oh, I got to find this song. That's why we had moved on to 2 different topics, and you were oh, I found the song. We're dude, are you still talking about that? We moved on to a couple different things.
Yeah.
It's funny. But, never stop learning. That's very important. With my kids, right now my son, he's learning first grade stuff. And I'm almost having to relearn, math and different ways they teach problem solving. But never stop learning.
Yeah, you need to. I find it's interesting to do book readings, where you can actually go and learn something new that you've never done. I think at YouTube, you and I were talking the other day. You're trying to do some Photoshop stuff, and
right.
I told you the best way to do it is just go to YouTube and find stuff. The other night I needed to learn how to cut an avocado. I've never actually cut an avocado before in my life.
It's interesting.
And so I had to go and look up on YouTube how to cut an avocado.
Curt, what did the avocado cutting video tell you? Can you describe?
You have to go and cut it all the way around and then take out the seed.
Why could you not have just done that? I feel like you can guess how to cut an avocado.
I don't know, because you cut different fruits and vegetables different ways. Like a green pepper, you have to cut off the ends and then cut out the insides.
Yeah.
I can't do that with an avocado.
I guess your mom didn't cut peppers as a kid or cut avocados either, huh?
No, not avocados. I don't ever remember having avocados growing up until I got to Texas.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's fair. But what did you learn? Because you didn't even know how to make macaroni and cheese. I remember you had to look that up. Hey, Grandma, what's the macaroni and cheese, recipe? What did your mom cook? We've talked about this a little bit before.
Spaghetti.
So you can make spaghetti no problem.
Correct.
You boil the noodles.
Boil the noodles.
Open the Prego.
Mac and cheese is the easiest. Man, one time I burnt mac and cheese. That was a fun experience for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Sounds no fun.
No bueno.
It's not fun at all. Nobody wants to eat burnt macaroni and cheese. Although you did talk about how the crust on the top, if you don't have that layer of
crunch
on the top, are you really even eating or preparing macaroni?
You got to have some of that.
Yeah.
You got to have, when you're making mac and cheese, there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
And that's one of them for sure.
Today's Wednesday, and this is Kickstart, so we're going to be on till 11. We have 6 more minutes left. Who do we have coming in tomorrow? What do we have going on?
So tomorrow we're actually on location. We're going to be doing our entire show from Cupcake KHEA, which is in South Shore Harbor area, Marina Bay. And we're going to be doing our entire show live on location at their cupcake place. What do you call it?
And this isn't what you call it. It's a bakery, but I'm gonna call it a cupcakery.
Cupcakery.
A cupcakery bakery.
We're making words up.
Yeah. So if you've never been to Cupcake KHEA, make sure you check them out. Maybe even come in tomorrow whenever we're there on location. that the family that owns it, it's almost like a year old. It's not even a year old, but they are doing some really cool things. They have keto cupcakes. They have custom cupcakes, seasonal cupcakes, all kinds of different flavors. We've been giving some feedback to them, be like, maybe you should try this. They're like, oh, okay, we'll make a taco cupcake. They actually did it. They made a taco cupcake. So I'm hoping they have some in their bakery or their cupcakery tomorrow whenever we are there hanging out with them.
Yeah, because if you can have keto cupcakes for breakfast, why not?
I want a keto cupcakery.
Keto cupcakery. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so, hey, hang out with us tomorrow. Maybe come to Marina Bay right there in League City, Texas. Come to Cupcake Cache right next to Sloppy Nick's. And if you haven't been to either one of those places, just tell them the KHEA radio sent you. We support them.
Super excited about tomorrow's show. And then on Friday, we're going to be live on location from the Firefighter Games, live on 6th Street. We're going to be talking to a lot of different restaurants that are there. Hey Mikey's is going to be one of our guests. We're going to have the United Way. Chris is going to be with us. They're going to be getting things ready to go for the event that's taking place Friday night and Saturday. It's the Firefighter Games. We're actually going to be judging the food eating contest. They're going to have games between... Not food eating contest. I'm sorry. I don't know why I jumped to food eating contest.
I know why.
Why? Because I want to eat a lot of food?
Because whenever you're judging, you're like, that's the mentality. You're like, I'm in a food eating contest. So you're just like eating as much as you can.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what
100%.
But it's definitely a cook-off.
It is.
It's a fajita cook-off. There's going to be a chicken cook-off as well. So we're going to be part of that. There's an opening ceremonies that take place at 6, and then the firefighters will be doing that. Saturday morning, there's a fun run. That's going to be taking place at like 8 o'clock.
And a parade.
And a parade followed by that at 9 o'clock. So there's a lot of activities that's going to be taking place. Gardy and I, we're going to be here at Abundant Life Christian Center all day Saturday for the College of the Mainland graduation that's taking place in our building. We're super excited about it.
Awesome. So, hey, this has been Kickstart. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us today. Again, if you did not take anything from today's show, today's programming, today's version of Kickstart, go download the KHEA radio app. Search in your app store or in the Google Play Store, KHEA radio, either one of those, and we'll pop up. We're going to be the first thing. You're going to see our logo on there, which is the tower. It's actually a little broken tower, which I like. And it says KHEA on the bottom. So download it. Feel free to give us a review if it's 5 stars. If not, hold it to yourself until we and then update it whenever you do feel like this is a 5-star app. But go download the app and then let us know what you think about it.
Sounds awesome. Hey, thank you guys for joining us today. We had a wonderful time talking to Sergio from Abundant Life Christian Center. We are going to have a service tonight at 7 o'clock right here at 601 Delaney Road. If you're in the area, stop in, say hi. Make sure you say, hey, I saw this on KHEA Radio, and let us know what you guys think.
Hey, coming up next is Roland, a local band doing some really big things. This song is titled Wrong. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We'll see you tomorrow morning from Cupcake Cache for Kickstart.
All right, bye, Facebook.